he was going out, he looked up at me, he said, "Rock, I'm not afraid, honestly. But, Coach, someday when the going is tough, when the boys aren't given the breaks, tell them to go out and break just one for the giver."
The voice of the late Pat O'Brien, recreating one of the Notre Dame football legends. It's a place where there are so many legends. Jess Harper started it during... his years as football coach and athletic director. Harper coached the man who would succeed him as the head football coach, Notre. Ruck started as an assistant coach and graduate assistant in the chemistry department, but as head coach from 1918 through 1930, his Fighting Irish won 88% of their games. There were 5 undefeated untied teams. In 1941, Frank Leahy came to Notre Dame. Leahy had played tackle 3 years under Rockne. He produced 5 national championship teams and a million stories. 1964, an Armenian Presbyterian named Ara Parsegian took over as head coach and added to the rich gridiron history. 3 national championships, 3 bowl victories in 11 seasons. Dan Devine and Jerry Faust followed and were winners. But today, another era begins as Lou Holtz sends his first Notre Dame team into the fabled old stadium. Holtz has been a winner everywhere he's been. He says this is his ultimate job. In his words, "I felt this was a dream of a lifetime." And how many 49-year-old people do you know who can still chase their dream? ABC Sports presents College Football Today. Hello again, everybody. I'm Keith Jackson from Notre Dame Stadium in South Bend, Indiana, where the Fighting Irish today play their first game under the leadership of Coach Lou Holtz, and they take on the Wolverines of Michigan, one of the highly touted contenders for the championship this year in college football. The man in the wheelhouse for college football today every week from our studios in New York, Jim Lampley.
Keith, thank you very much. That is a familiar place for both of us, particularly for you. What can you tell me about any specific differences in the atmosphere surrounding this game today?
Jim, I think it's been a more controlled pace. I thought even the pep rally was a bit more controlled last night than the norm, though it was still quite loud. But I think Lou realizes that he's come into, at least early on, a can't-lose situation. He's playing a very tough football team today. And if his team just has a respectable showing, then I think he's going to be very pleased, and I think the partisans of Notre Dame will be pleased.
You yourself were quoted in a national paper this week to the effect that you thought it would be the, quote, upset of the decade if Notre Dame were to win the game. Care to elaborate on that?
Yes, I feel that way because Michigan comes in with a very experienced team, particularly at the skill positions, a very big football team, and one that's got a burr under its saddle because it didn't win the Big Ten last year, despite its fine record and lofty finish in the polls. And I just fully think that Michigan, what with its schedule breaking the way it has, that they have every chance in the world to win the national championship. And I think Lou Holtz is going to continue to shuffle people here at Notre Dame probably through the month of October. You get to November, though, and it might be a different story, but I don't think today.
If you say it, I believe it. We'll look forward to getting back to you for more on that game very shortly. Meanwhile, there's plenty going on in college football right now, though this is a weekend on which a number of the top teams are idle. Among those in the top 10 who are playing, 4th-rated Alabama is at Birmingham against an opponent which has been tough for the Tide in recent years, and it's no different today. Southern Mississippi's Eagles tied up with the Tide 7-7 in the first quarter. 8th-rated Tennessee at home against Mississippi State and also having difficulty. Tennessee now leading 16-14 in the third quarter. Source of the difficulty, Mississippi State's terrific quarterback, Don Smith. Early in the football game, Don Smith threw a 43-yard pass to Fred Hadley, which gave Mississippi State a touchdown to make it 7-3. And we're going to take a look right now at some of the highlights in that football game. Smith throwing to Hadley. As you see, the 93,000 plus in the stadium next to the Tennessee River in Knoxville. And here's a look at Don Smith throwing 43 yards to Fred Hadley. This first quarter touchdown made it 7-3 Mississippi State. Now you're going to see Tennessee coming back with the running game. William Howard scored 2 touchdowns. This one, the second, a 6-yard run in the second quarter, which made it 16-7 Volunteers at that time. But you know that Tennessee, playing at reduced strength with 10 players out, had trouble with New Mexico a week ago. Today they're back at full strength. Couldn't stop this outstanding reception by Lewis Clark from Smith. Still in the second quarter, it made it 16-14, and that's the score now as they're in the third quarter. Ohio State hasn't opened at 0-2 since 1894, and that's the obstacle they'll be hoping to avoid as they play Washington in Seattle today. New Mexico, which gave Tennessee trouble last week, is in Provo today to play Brigham Young at 7-7 in the second quarter. Lindsley with a touchdown pass in the game to Ralph Martini after New Mexico had jumped out on top, and this is the 37-yard pass from Lindsley to Kevin Dowman that set up the touchdown pass. Lindsley last week with the best opening game ever in BYU's long string of outstanding quarterbacks. Duke and Georgia are playing for the very first time the game in Athens, where it is 24-0 Georgia in the fourth quarter with 13 minutes left. Iowa State has been a patsy for Iowa in recent years, no different today. 29-0 in the third quarter. In the first half, the Hawkeyes gained 339 yards to only 36 for Iowa State. California has traveled across the country to play BC. Opening game for the Golden Bears and their outstanding tailback, Mark Hicks. Boston College has come back from some difficulty in this game, leads now 21-15 with 5 minutes to go. BC started Mike Power at quarterback after last week's miserable performance by Sean Halloran. Halloran and coach Jack Bicknell were booed in Chestnut Hill, so today the redshirt freshman Power started, and his quickness was the reason they wanted to get him into the lineup. You see this 40-yard run that led to a field goal in the first quarter. And BC has held the lead at various times in the game, but California came back early in the fourth quarter to go ahead 15-13 on a 7-yard touchdown run by Brian Bedford, this Bedford's second touchdown of the game. But since that time, BC has come back on a run by Jim Turner as Mark Camphouse has entered the game for Power at quarterback. Power out with a sprained ankle. Camphouse directed a touchdown drive. They've also gotten a safety. It's 21-15. Clemson hasn't lost to a team from the state of Virginia in 32 years, but they trail Virginia Tech 20-14 now in the fourth quarter with 12 minutes to go. Clemson has had a myriad of mistakes in the game, a couple of fumbles, and a kick was blocked against a punter who answered an ad in the student newspaper to become the Clemson punter. Furman at Georgia Tech leading, as you might expect, 17-7 in the fourth quarter. Howard Schnellenberger has yet to beat a Division I-A team, while at Louisville, and this is second year, it's 0-0 at Indiana in the second quarter. North Carolina traveling to Kansas without tailback Derek Finner, who was left in Chapel Hill after missing the team bus to the airport, but the Tar Heels lead 17-0 in the fourth. Rutgers, after last week's opening win against BC, leads Kentucky 10-0 in the third quarter. Twice Kentucky has driven inside the 5-yard line and given the ball away on fumbles. Army's wishbone is working, 145 yards rushing in the first quarter, and the Black Knights of the Hudson now in the second quarter lead Syracuse 16-7. It'll be an upset if they go on to win. Virginia at Navy. George Welsh is 2-2 against Navy since going to Virginia. 10-7 favor the Middies in the second quarter. Northern Illinois at Wisconsin. Wisconsin leading 21-6. Northern Illinois has already lost twice this week. And the top 10 shows a lot of idle teams today. You can see the number in the top 20 there, which are not playing, including Florida State. And on that note, we must sadly report that 21-year-old Pablo Lopez, a 2-year starting offensive tackle for Florida State, according to Wire Service reports, was shot and killed on the campus in Tallahassee early this morning after an altercation outside a dance. A man named Bron Johnson from Tallahassee has been arrested and charged with first-degree murder in the case. We'll be back with a close-up conversation with Notre Dame coach Lou Holtz.
College Football Today, brought to you by Head Shaving Gel. It's not your ordinary shave. By Radio Shack, the computer experts. And by Chevrolet, who invites you to drive today, Chevy. Live today, Chevy.
Forget everything you know about shaving and get ready for the extraordinary.
year of 1964 not to be ranked in the AP's preseason top 20. But that hasn't diminished the media appetite for news about the Irish and Lou Holtz, who's already had a busy September. Earlier this week, I visited him to talk about this hectic experience. Isn't an opportunity to be in the biggest possible spotlight one of the reasons why a person would pursue the head coaching job at Notre Dame?
I think it's because it's such a tremendous challenge. I think it's a challenge in an awful lot of different respects. But there's several things that go into it. You like to be at a place where there's a challenge. You like to be at a place where you're supposed to win. You like to be at a place where you think you have a good chance to win. But it's also just a great atmosphere to be here on this campus. I mean, anybody that comes here on the campus just sort of feels, hey, there's a mystique here. And there really and truly is. You can feel it once you walk up Notre Dame Avenue. It is something special. But getting here is just the first phase of it. To come here and not succeed, I think would be very damaging to me mentally, and no, that wouldn't be an exact correlation. I don't feel pressure. I feel responsibility. In other words, if we cannot be successful here, I wish that would have never come.
What will you be looking for Saturday against Michigan as a benchmark of where you want this program to be headed?
A win.
It will be reflected on the scoreboard then.
Well, I think it'll give us a pretty good idea where we are and how far we have to go. I think that this football team is going to play as well and as hard as they possibly can. I don't have any qualms at all about that. We're anxious to find out exactly where we are, so that if we aren't where we want to be, at least we have a roadmap of how to get there.
Through his tenures at 4 other schools, Holtz was the ultimate showman. Surely the only college coach ever to hawk magic tricks on The Tonight Show. I asked him what's behind a new, more serious image.
Most places I've been, Jim, at William & Mary, NC State, University of Arkansas, certainly University of Minnesota. I went into that situation. We inherited a losing situation in each and every one of them. Frank Broyles did a great job at the University of Arkansas. There's no doubt about it. They've been to one bowl in 7 years, did not have a winning season here before. Every one of those places, we had to sell tickets. We had to raise revenue. We had to compete for newspaper space. I've always been content just to be a football coach. I don't want to do anything else except coach football and have a relationship with the players whereby we can be a positive influence on them. Here at Notre Dame, I want to tell you, I don't want to answer the phone. They have a real ticket problem here. They don't sell season tickets. They have raffles, game by game. That's the interest in the man. You don't need to sell Notre Dame. Notre Dame is sold.
What do you think will be in your heart and your mind Saturday in Notre Dame Stadium when you go out the tunnel and onto the field for the first time?
Well, in my mind will be the feeling, what can we possibly do between now and kickoff to give us a better chance to win? In my heart, I would say this, going down that tunnel, that it is a great honor to be here and an awesome responsibility. And I just hope that when I leave here, that I will have been a credit to Notre Dame, not only on the football field, but in all phases of my life. That's all I want to do.
The moment is almost at hand. Keith Jackson and his little ball club standing by to report it in South Bend, and for more, let's go to them right now.
Jim, when a new man takes a charge that is as public as being the football coach at Notre Dame, anticipation is sure to be pronounced in all sectors of this part of the country, in fact, all of the country. And it hasn't happened in this particular case overnight. It's been a steadily building process throughout most of this year. Prior to home games here at Notre Dame, they have a pep rally. It sometimes becomes an unusual pep rally. It's a marvelous insignia. It's an amiable madness that echoes far across the plains. I guess you could call it a privilege of the college age to have your victory celebration antebellum. Let's join Al Trotwig.
It used to be attendance at the Notre Dame pep rally was mandatory. Well, you'd think it still was for as many people as were here last night at the Athletic and Convocation Center. But the morning after the night before, you wouldn't even know they held a big party here. No loud noise, just the preparation for the Alumni Association here. They've opted for music that is slightly mellower than we had last night. Ray Rice is tuning the piano. Ray, can you do the Notre Dame Victory March? Keep going, Ray. Keep working. It sounded a little different last night.
I am so proud to be at Notre Dame, not because of me or that I deserve to be here. But from the time I grew up, I loved this school. I heard about it. I read about it. I don't bring tears to my eyes very often. I'm not a particularly emotional person. I thank God for giving me the opportunity to be here with you. I didn't come here to be a legend. I came here just like you and the rest of them to achieve. And I don't care what happens. If there's any way in this world to have great academics, we'll never sacrifice that. And win the national championship, we're going to do it this way. Thank you.
But there is a hook in all of this. The Fighting Irish under Lou Holtz will open today against one of the very best teams in the country, the Michigan Wolverines. So I guess the feeling may be, let's spend all the anticipatory fervor we can while we can.
This is it. The biggest car buying news in decades. Chevrolet announces...
Live now in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, where the Aggies open tonight against LSU. Coach Sherrill, thanks for joining us. Let me get rid of one piece of ancient history first. When you first went to Texas A&M nearly 5 years ago, much was made of the amount of money that it took to lure you down there. Isn't it true that there were coaches then and are several coaches now who are more liberally compensated than you?
Jim, no question about that. And I think that what was the big news was I was honest about it. And I think there's before then and after, Coach Bryant, when he was at A&M in 1958, went to Alabama. Coach Bryant was paid very, very much. Same thing with Frank Broyles when he was at Arkansas back in the 60s. So, coaches in their jobs today, athletic directors throughout the country, they've always been able to have an opportunity to make money, and it's going to be there. So I think that the biggest thing that happened was I was very open about it and honest, because like I had a lot of people in the media that were very good friends of mine, and there's no way that I can look at them and say, no, that's not true, and then 6 months later they found out it was true.
All right, now if you've had to be honest about something else. This week, Texas A&M gave the NCAA 10 volumes, 2,000 pages on the recent internal investigation of your program. What assurance do you have that no penalty is forthcoming soon?
Well, when you go through a process like this, you know, right now the NCAA has really instituted one thing that's going to be good for all institutions throughout the country, and that is a self-study every 5 years, and that self-study has to be done by the administration, meaning that outside people. And when they come in and do the self-study academically, what you're doing with your athletes, so if financially what you're doing, who controls the institution, or is your athletic department following the guidelines or principles of the institution? And it's the bottom line, are the outside people outside the institution that has anything to do with your program or controlling it. And we're very happy because, you know, that was in the report, and that was from top to bottom. And, you know, I think that certainly any institution today, just like Nebraska or Notre Dame or anywhere, there could be one thing or one minor thing or a couple of minor things. But that's not a big issue here. And I'm very comfortable, and our people are very comfortable, and we're glad it's through. And we turned it in. We were not asked to turn it in, Jim.
All right, how comfortable is your quarterback, Kevin Murray? So many of the allegations surround him, and he's the key player.
Well, I think it's the same thing there. You know, we're going into a season, and you know that thing happened last year, and they've had a lot of time to go through it or process it, and there's no way they're going to jerk a young man out of performing this year when they had the ample time to process it.
Well, Coach, you're on center stage again with what looks like a great team. We wish you good luck tonight. Thank you very much for joining us.
You're welcome.
All right, Jackie Sherrill of Texas A&M in action tonight. Meanwhile, California has fallen to Boston College, a big comeback win for the Eagles after last week's debacle against Rutgers, and the third quarterback they used, Mark Camphouse, was the man who engineered what turned out to be the winning drive. Tennessee has just scored again, and now with about 12 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, leads Mississippi State 23-14. And BYU has gotten another touchdown pass from Lindsley, and now leads New Mexico 17-7 at halftime. Final word after this.
The measure of a champion. Not just a matter of inches, but a matter of degree. It's the determination.
Or more, none has ever won the national title. He may have his best shot yet this year. We'll be back.
We'll get vermin on the roof.
British collegiate football careers with a flourish are the principal players today. Michigan's Jim Harbaugh, the most efficient last season, still has his big target, 6'8" Paul Jokic, to throw to. Notre Dame's Steve Berline has a change in offense, but still the blazing speed of wide receiver Tim Brown to spread excitement across the field. ABC Sports presents CFA Football. The Michigan Wolverines of the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. For the game today at Notre Dame Stadium in South Bend, Indiana, a record number of media people in attendance, and for good reason, because it is indeed a dramatic moment in college football. On the one hand, this team is a prime contender for the national championship, the University of Michigan Wolverines. 10-1-1 last year, ranked second in the final polls. Coach Bo Schembechler, 18th season at Michigan, 156 wins in 198 games. And now, the other reason for the record number of media people, this man, Lou Holtz, taking over as the head football coach of the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. Game number 1 is at hand. Listen to this sound as they come out of the tunnel. Basically the same people in Irish colors who were 5 and 6 last season. The most dramatic newcomer is the new coach, Lou Holtz. Hello again, everybody. I'm Keith Jackson, and looking back on Lou Holtz's history, everywhere he's been, you can find that he had an immediate impact. He's going to be moving people around for some games to come. Perhaps the worst thing that could happen to him would be to win today, but they'll try. You can take that to the bank. Now, when a coach calls his team back from the lazy, hazy days of summer, he usually has something in mind, a motivator. And when Bo Schembechler welcomed his Wolverines back for the fall practice, he reminded them in strident tones that they had finished with 10 wins and second in the national polls last year. But they had not won the conference championship, and by thunder, they would do that this year. That has been a constant theme for Michigan. And let's turn now to Tim Brandt and talk about these Michigan Wolverines and their coach. And I think, frankly, that Bo Schembechler has the tools to win it all this year.
He is loaded. Now, you mentioned incentive. This is a team which also has a great deal of experience. 16 starters back from the team that finished second in the nation last year. Now, quarterback Jim Harbaugh led the nation in passing efficiency last year. First time a Big Ten quarterback has ever done that. He will not make many mistakes for you, and he can run the football. But that chore will be handled mostly by the little guy, Jamie Morris. He can scoot. He's only 5'7". The bottom line here is Michigan is loaded. They are extremely talented in the skilled positions. Bo Schembechler, he freely admits to the fact that experience may be his biggest asset.
Well, I think that's one advantage. We'll go in with the wide receivers and the backs all having experience. But, you know, the most important adjustments in a football game are made up front. And every single one of our up front people, all 6 of them, are either new or playing a different position than they played a year ago. So that sort of bothers us a little bit because we realize we're going to have to change directions during the course of the game, change adjustments. We're going to have to do some different things as we see what Notre Dame does.
Inexperience, maybe, but what Bo failed to tell you is his offensive line averages 285 pounds, and with the leniency in the blocking rules, they'll do just fine. Now, Notre Dame, Lou Holtz comes in here. He shuffled his lineup like a deck of cards. He's taken some outside linebackers, made them down people. He's taken outside receivers. He's made them running backs. He's going to try to do it with mirrors. You will see Tim Brown in the backfield. You'll see him on the wing. You'll see him out wide. A multitude of offensive formations. I say they'll try to do it with mirrors. They'll try to fool Michigan. They'll use deception. But what Lou Holtz calls this, he calls it an hybrid offense. And he told me yesterday about that offense, and he explained it this way.
Well, what we tried to do was look at the talent, and nothing really seemed to fit. You say, okay, we'll run an I formation. Well, we didn't have an established I tailback that can carry the ball 25 times a game. We didn't have an offensive line blocking up front that was experienced and big and strong, and we didn't have a quarterback with any mobility, so it was hard to go to the option. It was hard to run a power offense. We said, okay, we'll drop back where we aren't big enough or strong enough to protect the passer on a consistent basis. So, well, we said, well, then what happens if Birdline goes down, or what happens if this happens? So what you try to do is build a broad base of being able to do a lot of things.
I'm a little disappointed. I thought with your ancestry you might do that pregame show in Latin. The series record between these two teams, this the 18th meeting. Michigan has won 12. Last year the Wolverines won 20-12 in a very close game. Michigan a 5-2 edge in games played here in this stadium.
CFA College Football. This ABC Sports exclusive is brought to you by Nissan. Test drive the new Nissan hard-body trucks at your Nissan dealer now. By Certa, perfect sleeper. Discover why so many people say, I want my Certa. By Sears New Century. Come see all the ways we've changed and all the ways we haven't. And by the U.S. Army, a place to be all you can be.
But I'll tell you this man, if he were to pull off a win today, would have accomplished a moment of history, no question about it. The Michigan Wolverines will receive the football. Notre Dame, wearing the black shirts, will be kicking off. Going deep is number 40, John Colasar, fastest man, I suppose, on the team, one of the fastest. He's back there along with Jamie Morris, and John Carney, a senior out of West Palm Beach, Florida, will kick off for the Fighting Irish. The Fabled Stadium is stuffed again. The grass is in fine shape. The field is firm, and the game is on. Beyond the end line. And we look now to the opening of play by Michigan. Look at the weights on the offensive front, averaging 285. Jokic, the split end, weighs a mere 239, but he makes up for that in the fact that he's 6 feet 8 inches high. A big, big target and a big, big line, and those fellas can move it around. But as Bo said, they're all playing new positions, or they have not played any position for any period of time. Let's see how they fare in the opening series. First down from their 20. Kolasar and Jokic are the wide people. Jim Harbaugh steps in at quarterback. The deep man is Jamie Morris, Notre Dame. Shuffling linebackers in and out. It goes to Morris. Morris trying to get around the corner. Goes to no place. Loses 4 yards as Ron Weissenhofer was able to penetrate and get to him along with Ernie Holloway. The offensive backfield, Harbaugh the quarterback and Morris the tailback. The two key people, Gary White in there at fullback. Harbaugh is a big fella, stands well over 6 feet. Jamie Morris is a little fella, 5'7", 180 pounds, which means he can get in behind there sometimes and hide. You can't find him. By the time you get through sifting and sorting out, he's gone. But he didn't go that time. Give him a 3-yard loss on the first carry. Second down and 13. Harbaugh rolls it left. Good protection, lobs his pass out to White. White cuts it to the 27 and goes down there. And I think it is very, very obvious that Notre Dame has come out jacked up. The Notre Dame defensive unit, Kovalevsky is the inside backer there, and he'll be very, very important all day. Mike is a senior out of Newcastle, Indiana. We look at him, and he's a tough, good, solid football player. And right now, number 48, Cedric Figaro, is hobbling off the field for the Fighting Irish defensive alignment. He is outside linebacker for Notre Dame, and he's left the game with Jeff Alm hurrying in. Michigan comes up now in a full house backfield, set up in a wishbone formation. They have practiced it. Bob Perryman is in there at fullback on 3rd down and 3. Option play goes to the right side to the big fullback, and he's got a first down. And there's your first surprise of the ball game.
It is an offense that Michigan has worked on and worked on a great deal in preparation for this game. You will see Michigan use that wishbone attack in short yardage situations like that one, and down in close by the goal line. And of course, everybody knows the asset, the biggest plus of the wishbone is every play starts the same way. So it's very difficult to read, twice as tough to prepare for.
Now they go back to the split back formation as the wishbone worked, or the option offense worked the first time. Handoff goes to Jamie Morris. Morris goes from the 31 to about the 32, and he is cut down there. The officials in today's ball game, a mixed crew of the Central Independent Association and the Big Ten. The referee is John Nealon.
Notre Dame, as you mentioned, is very jacked up right now, very high. But what they have to be concerned with is that old adage that emotion sometimes gets in the way of concentration. They cannot afford a breakdown, a mistake, a mental error here, and give up the big play.
Second down and 8. Michigan goes to a double tight end alignment as Derek Walker checks into the ball game, and Kolasar comes out. Harbaugh fakes it left, turns it right, naked bootleg, looks down the middle, throws the ball, complete to Jeffrey Brown, his tight end, and Brown is up for a first down close to midfield. Beautiful play there.
All right, this is exactly what I was talking about. You'll see, here's the waggle play. In other words, all the motion goes one way and the quarterback goes the other. Notre Dame has already lost containment. There's nobody on the outside, so Harbaugh has the option to run or throw. When everybody comes up to grab him, then the receiver Brown is wide open.
And Kolasar, speed man, checks back in for Michigan. First down near midfield for the Wolverines. Opening offensive series of the ball game. Up man, White, the fullback. Right guard gets in behind the big fella Dames, a mere 260, but Hussar at 290 is also over there, and there is some daylight. Vitale, the center, weighs in at 290. There's a gain on the play of about 4, second down and 6 coming up. Jokic at wide receiver. Higgins number 31 to the bottom of the picture. I formation this time for Michigan on second down and 6. Irish bouncing around defensively. Showing a 5-man front. Bo Fazio now the defensive coordinator for Notre Dame. Little man, Morris carries the ball. 5'7", 180th from Ayer, Massachusetts. And Jamie, the younger brother of Joe, who plays for the New York Giants, is going to be marked down at the 43. So you're looking at third down, 2.5.
He is tough to find in there. He's only 5'7". We said the offensive line is tall. They're big. They average 285 pounds. So that's problem number 1. Also, Morris has a very low running style. He stays down, has good vision, and you'll watch him pick and run.
Perryman comes back in. They go back into the wishbone formation now. Last time they worked it for a first down. It's third down and a short 3. Harbaugh goes down the line with the ball. Turns the corner. First down and then some. to the 30-yard line. Gerald White made the big block to turn Harbaugh upfield.
All right, if you haven't seen the wishbone very often, it's very tough to defend against. Now, that middle guard has to take that dive man. There's the fake. Now, Harbaugh comes down, he options that end. See the end running with the pitch man? Then he picks up this block here from White. Great cut by Harbaugh. We told you in the pregame that he can run. That's going to be very difficult to stop for Notre Dame.
The Wolverines first down at the Notre Dame 30. Straight back to pass on first down. Ball is batted down by the big man on the defensive line for Notre Dame, Wally Klein, 6'9", 275.
Wally Klein could be the tallest man in college football at 6'9", and he's going to cause some problems for Harbaugh, who's 6'4". When he puts those arms up, he's tough to throw over. Now, he's coming off knee surgery. He's had some bad shoulders. He does come in too high, and that causes some problems for him on the run. But as a pass defender, boy, he's tough to throw against.
Second down and 10. Colasar comes to the bottom of the picture now. Jokic goes to the top. And Harbaugh gives the ball to Jamie Morris, bouncing in the middle. And picks up yardage to the 25. He got a good 5 on that carry. Close to 6 before Klein brought him down. Wally is a senior out of Midland, Texas. Jamie Morris, a big year last year, as you can see. That's a good average. 5 plus.
You know, Jamie Morris was not even recruited by Bo. Kid just wanted to come to Michigan. Got a questionnaire, filled it out, became the first freshman in Michigan to lead the team in rushing since 1945, and he's the most valuable player of the Fiesta Bowl.
Now you got 3 wideouts in the lineup for Michigan on third down and 5, and Harbaugh is back to throw. Has a lot of time. Sideline thrown too high, and the ball was really thrown over the head of Jamie Morris, because as Jamie went up, got a hand on it, he was out of bounds. So it brings up a 4th down, and in comes the kicking unit now with Pat Moons, a senior from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, in to try the field goal, and it's from a heady distance of 42 yards. 9.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. The holder is Monty Robbins, the punter. Last year, Moons was 1 for 1 from this distance. Plenty of leg on it. And he missed it. He hooked it out. And so the crowd cheers as Michigan comes away with nothing after controlling the ball for the better part of 6.5 minutes.
Sunny days, catching rays, enjoy it while it's here.
comes to the attack now. The Michigan offense, they ran for 27 yards, passed for 28 yards in 11 plays, but came away with no score. And Steve Berline now comes out for his first snap. Pernell Taylor at fullback and Mark Green the tailback. And here's the first snap of the Irish under the coaching of Lou Holtz. Goes to Green. He's down after a couple of yards up to about the 27-yard line. Williams, Sproul, Heffern. Where Heffern goes normally is where the play is. Lanza, Freeman, Reeder. Jackson not in there. Alvin Miller is starting. Jackson has a bit of an injury, but may play some today. So it's second down and call it 8. For Notre Dame at their own 27, and they go double wide to the left side. Alvin Miller is 6'4", 210, a speedster out of Kirkwood, Missouri, at the top of the picture. Berline will whip it upfield, throws it quickly to Mark Green, who had been a wide receiver, but crept out that time into a flanker position. But he had been converted into the tailback spot, and that time he went back to that wide spot, picked up a first down. Tim Brown, the other wide man, it's got to be a key personality in this ball game because he's the swiftest of the swift out there today.
But the single biggest factor here has to be Steve Berline. He has to perform well for Notre Dame to win today. He's thrown 37 career interceptions. He can't afford any mistakes like that against Michigan.
The ball is marked out at the 42, where it's first down for the Irish. Split back formation, ball goes to Green, and Green spinning with a tackler, gets up across the 45 to the 47, where he is hauled down. And Andy Moeller in the middle at the inside backer position is bound to be a key man today for the Michigan defensive people and was involved in the last play. Garland Rivers at cornerback is the hitter. He might do anything.
That's exactly right. But Andy Moeller is the son of Gary Moeller, the defensive coordinator. Thinks like his dad, reacts a little bit better.
A little younger. This is Tim Brown, the wide receiver, running a reverse for the Irish. Brown at 6'2", 190, a junior out of Dallas, Texas. Just give him a crack, and he's gone, and he picked up a first down with that carry.
You can see the Lou Holtz factor already in this ball game. Last year, Notre Dame was very predictable. It was Alan Pinkett right, Alan Pinkett left, Alan Pinkett straight up the middle. Already we've seen two different formations. We've seen several plays that have gone to the outside, set up the run. There may be some ghosts in this place. Notre Dame looks fairly strong in this offensive series.
I think they will play the game very tight, tough, and close, perhaps as long as 3 quarters. But manpower eventually may become a problem for them. That's the bottom line of this contest. Brown trying to bounce outside with it. That time is unable to do it as Michigan read it early, and Steve Thiebert, 6'5", 240, from Union Lake, Michigan, brings him down. He's an outside backer to the right side.
Notre Dame certainly doesn't have the depth that Michigan has. They do have some quality people. But, you know, Notre Dame plays well in this stadium. They were 5-6 last year, only the 8th losing season in the school's history. But all 5 wins came here at Notre Dame Stadium against some bowl teams like Michigan State, Army, Southern Cal.
Second down. About 13. Berline's pass is complete. Caught by number 8. Andy Heck, sophomore, Annandale, Virginia, and nailed by Garland Rivers. Now, Heck is 235-pounder, number 88 there. Rivers is 185 pounds. He's giving away 50 pounds, and he put him on his back.
Garland Rivers reacts very well to the football, and he does play with reckless abandon. He doesn't care how big you are. He's just going to get in and put that rondelle under your chin. He knows that the key is not size, but it's leverage, and he sure has that.
It's third down and a long 7 now for the Irish. The ball is at the Michigan, just inside the Michigan 44 as Berline rolls and throws. Got to Miller. And Miller has a first down for the Irish at the 32-yard line.
Berline has been impressive thus far. Now, Lou Holtz told me yesterday that this kid has improved tremendously. Says he's a maligned quarterback. Said he hadn't thrown an interception the entire fall practice. But throwing against your own guys is a lot easier than throwing against Michigan. But thus far, Michigan stayed rather basic defensively. That surprises me. They also have given a lot of ground, and they're playing soft on the corners.
Reggie Ward is in at flanker now, replacing Tim Brown for the moment as Notre Dame goes to the I formation. Green the deep man, and Taylor the up man, and Taylor has the ball, and he dives into the middle to about the 30 for a pickup of 2 yards. Brown is coming back in now after a conversation with Lou Holtz, so it's obvious he's bringing a play at 6:15 to go in the first quarter and no score. Watching Brown, he'll go double wide with Miller to the top of the picture. That's a lot of speed at the top of the picture. Berline rolls it that way, looks down the middle, goes into the end zone for Miller, and it is incomplete. could. Number 8, Doug Mallory, went up with him along with Tony Gatt, and he could not make the play.
See, Berline wanted to hit Brown as soon as he cut upfield. You saw him double pump, then he had to wait for the receivers. Now watch this when the ball comes down there. You've got 2 Notre Dame receivers right in the same area. The ball was a little bit wobbly because he was thrown out of his rhythm waiting for Brown, number 81 there on the right, to clear his pattern. Finally, when he did release it, it was wobbly, and he threw into coverage.
Now Milt Jackson shows up in the game, number 6 for the first time. It's split in. Another speedster, and Berline goes straight back on 3rd down. Little trouble pass ahead to Taylor. Taylor's got some blocking in front of him. He's got a first down inside the 20. Well, Lee Grosscup and the old Utes will love that because it's suddenly become a very pet play for a lot of football teams.
Old Cactus Jack, he's the one that originated it. This is a forward pass, but if he drops the ball, it's not a fumble because it's incomplete. Now it's run blocking on the play. You pull your guard, you get him out in front. I love that play. I told you Lou Holtz was doing it with mirrors. He sure is. That's deception.
First down at the 19-yard line for the Irish. Michigan's 19. Art Green, who comes out of Riverside, California, 6-footer, 185, goes right into the stack. And the question on Mark is how much pounding can he take at the running back position, because last year he was in a wide spot that didn't take the pounding.
He admitted that he didn't want to run up the middle. He told Lou Holtz that he didn't want to be pounded by 280-pound middle guards. You know, you mentioned he came from California, went to the same high school, Riverside Poly, as Reggie Miller and Cheryl Miller.
Notre Dame goes into a wishbone set now with a veer option. And Berline comes down the line, flips it back to Green. Green's on the corner. He's inside the 10. He's inside the 5. He's out of bounds at the 3. First and goal, Irish.
The wishbone, every play starts the same. The key is the quarterback. He rides the dive man. Now he's got to read that outside guy. There's the read at the attack. Green gets a great block from the wide receiver Brown out there. Then he turns it on the corner. They're inside the 5. I was convinced either Michigan scored first, it'd be Katie bar the door. If Notre Dame scores, this may be a ball game.
I believe it'll be a contest if Notre Dame gets in front. And they've got a great chance now. First down and goal from the 3. They stay in the wishbone. They pitch it back to Tim Brown. Brown bounces outside. Foot race to the corner. Touchdown! Sorensen's hold. And it's good. So at 4 minutes and 34 seconds to go in the first quarter of play, the Irish, in their first offensive possession, take the football and stick it in the end zone on this run by Tim Brown. 13 plays, they go 75 yards to lead it 7-0.
Of investment and financial security requires patience.
off now with Colasar and Morris deep for Michigan. Into the end zone, way back, no return. Let's go now, Troutwig.
Keith, you know, the Wolverine helmets have always interested me. This design is certainly strange. It doesn't look like a Wolverine, and well, it's not. You know, the longtime innovative coach of Michigan, Fritz Chrysler, designed these for visibility on passing plays. This basic yellow was from the stitching from the old leather helmets, and when they went to these helmets, they decided to keep the same design. Boy, are they distinctive. When Bo Schembechler came to coach this team in 1969, he jokingly said, the first thing I want to do is get rid of these helmets. No one at the alumni grouping laughed. They're still here. Back to you.
Visibility downfield. Don't have any trouble spotting your receivers, that's for sure. First down, Wolverines. They trail. Give it to Morris. Morris to the 20. Jamie's out to the 25. Second down and 5 coming up. We'll take one more look at Tim Brown's touchdown run for Notre Dame.
We're going to see Brown carrying the ball quite a bit today. Lou Holtz said the only way he won't get the ball to Timmy Brown is if Michigan intercepts the snap. Timmy Brown made a great cut there. He saw the block was coming, even though it was a poorly thrown block. No contact was made. He still took the corner.
Now let's see how Michigan responds to having been snubbed. Second down and 5 as Jamie Morris went for 5 on that previous carry. Harbaugh back to throw it. Gets it off down the middle. Colasar's there, and he's got it for a first down at the Irish 40. Caught it in front of Arm Spence. Perfect throw and a fine catch by Colasar.
Anytime a team goes to a zone defense, especially a two-deep zone, you've got to put that safety in the middle of the field. Well, Notre Dame did that, but by the time they did it, and he reacted and readjusted after hesitating, Colasar was into the secondary. You beat that two-deep zone, or you beat any zone, by going to the middle. Colasar ran a post pattern, and he was clear in the seam.
So they pick up a bundle and mark it at the 41-yard line, not the 40. Colasar goes in motion on this play. And it goes to the up man, White. And Gerald White wedges to about the 36. So that's a pickup of about 5 yards there as Kovalevsky brings him down.
Kovalevsky is the bell cow. He is the leader on that defense, the most experienced guy there. He started 3 years. Now here he is right in the middle. He gets low, he meets the blocker. Now he's got to shed the blocker and get to the play, but he's getting tied up there. Now he gets off and makes the tackle. That Michigan offensive line is so big. Boy, how times have changed. Remember the 4 to 7 blocks of Granite? 3 of those guys weighed less than 190 pounds.
Yeah, the whole game sits in it. Second down and 5. This is Gerald White. White brings the tackle on the right side, picks up a first down. As he cracks inside the 30 and gets to the 26, free safety Mike Haywood came up to bring him down. So Michigan showing some offensive spark and responding to the Irish touchdown. Next Saturday, USC and Baylor down in Waco, Texas, Clemson and Georgia in Athens. Check your local listing for the game in your area. Michigan first down at the Irish 26. White and Morris in the eye. Harbaugh to Morris. Morris disappears in the stack, but once again shows his strength. And being built low to the ground, as strong as he is, it didn't look like there was anything there for him, but he's still got 4 yards.
He runs a lot like his brother Joe with the Giants. They both have that low center of gravity. Even if they were bigger backs, if they had that quality, it'd be a tremendous asset. You stay low to the ground, give up a more difficult target to the tackler.
Second down, long 6. Harbaugh throws it right on the waggle. Passes complete. Caught by Jeffrey Brown. Tight end down around the 10-yard line, and that will be another Michigan first down.
No. You can't let that happen if you're on defense. Now, the guy was number 56, Banks. He used to be the outside up man, but now he's down. All right, keep an eye on number 56 right here. He's already chasing Harbaugh. He's got to contain it. He's got to keep outside leverage, and he's got to get in Harbaugh's face. This is the guy who led the nation in passing efficiency. You let him throw, you don't give him any pressure, he'll pick you apart all day.
The ball is right on the 10-yard line where it's first and goal, and Bob Perryman comes into the wishbone backfield now for Michigan. Harbaugh hands it off to the up man Perryman, the 245-pound senior from Buzzards Bay, Mass. And he cracks in there for a couple of yards. Another thing about this Michigan team is that size up front of 306, 285, 290, 260, and 290. They're going to get better and better as the year wears on, too.
Well, Bo said they were inexperienced, and he was a little bit concerned with them. Man, you're that big, I wouldn't be too concerned. At least I wouldn't tell them. Michigan looks very, very sharp right now for an opening game.
But they're trailing 7-0. Second down and goal from the 8. Harbaugh to Morris. Morris hit at the line of scrimmage. Breaks the tackle. Touchdown.
The old counter play. Take a look at this now. This play's been in the books for years. The old counter, mistake one way. Here comes the crossbuck. But watch, it's Banks again who gets tied up and doesn't wrap his arms. He feels awkward in a new position right now. I'm not saying he's not going to adjust because he's a great athlete. But that time he missed the tackle and Morris bounced outside for the touchdown.
And Pat Moons is in now to try to tie it up. And he does. We've got 33 seconds to play in the first quarter. It's a 7-7 ball game, and an impressive note, not a single flag as yet.
If your house was destroyed, would your insurance pay to completely
State 10 in the closing minutes and couldn't capitalize. So Mississippi State whips Tennessee 27-23 at Knoxville. A great win for the youngest coach in Division 1A, Rocky Felker of Mississippi State. Heath?
Well, the Maroons have pulled off 2 surprises in a row. They knocked off Syracuse last week and now beat Tennessee. Rocky's doing something right, isn't he? He's got a great player in that young fellow Smith, though, I'll tell you that. The numbers on the Michigan drive, 80 yards, 8 plays. Morris scoring from 8 yards, and now the football game begins. A 7-7 tie. And it is Sass circling, but he does not take it. It is Corny Sapo, a defensive back, and Corny Sapo return comes back to about the 27-yard line. Here's Al.
Keith, you know traditions die hard here in Notre Dame. It's the tradition of the students to stand and watch the entire game and never sit down. Let's see if we can get somebody to sit down here. Can anybody sit down?
That may not be the best seat in the house. It may not be the cheapest seat in the house, but I'll guarantee you one thing, it's the toughest seat in the house. If I were you, I'd get out of there. Because they do enjoy themselves. their own little corner of this old stadium as Verline drops the throw on first down, wants to go deep, does go deep. For Brown, as far as he can throw it, and it's an incomplete forward pass. No interference on that call. Ivan Hicks was covering him all the way.
Now, but right away you hear the crowd. They want that interference call. Incidental contact. Tim Brown just adjusted his route, changed his head direction, looked over the opposite shoulder, and they bumped, and he fell.
So it brings up second down and 10 from the 27 for Notre Dame. 7-7 tie with 22 seconds to play in the first quarter. Verline gives the ball away to number 46. That's Pernell Taylor, a senior out of Papuente, California. And he's got a couple of yards up to about the 29. This time now will probably run out in the first quarter. They might take a little extra time during the quarter break to talk about what they'd like to do. So after 15 minutes in South Bend, Notre Dame Stadium, it's Michigan 7 and Notre Dame 7.
There. You want to try something tough? Try taking this check to a widow with young kids. I've had to do it twice.
Interesting guy, Steve Berline. Lou Holtz said he's the most maligned quarterback he's ever seen. He says that he has played extremely well. Berline self-admittedly says that if they had to rely on the option, he wouldn't be playing quarterback. Got those big size 14 shoes around the corner that time.
He came back about 20 pounds lighter this year, so he could have a little more speed. And he looks quicker.
Shoe size is the same, though. 14 at the low.
Second down and 7. Penalty flag. Pitch back. Ball fumble. Michigan covers it at the 6-yard line. So let's see. We may have a penalty call against the Irish. If that's the case, Michigan will surely decline it and keep the ball. Reggie Ward was the man with the ball, and he lost control of it. And it bounced right down in front of a Michigan man, and I didn't get his number. It could have been Peter Herron. It could have been any one of them. Not Williams who covered the ball, or it could have been Gant, Tony Gant.
Well, here it is again now. Again, it's a good play, and it would have been a big gainer. But he runs right out of his shoes right here. He gets kicked. The ball comes right out of his arms. I think he was just thinking a little bit too much about what his move was going to be. He was looking to the outside, checking the inside, and while he was doing all that, the ball just got away from him. Nonetheless, it's still 7-7.
Forget all about shaving and get ready for the extraordinary. Extra rich Edge Gel with 4 rich moisturizers and 40% more lubricants, cleaning foam. Lay it down where you want it.
Season missed because of injury is back in there at that nose tackle. Marty Lippincott got the start today, but Griffin out of Cleveland Heights, Ohio, figures to play a lot this season.
Griffin hadn't played in a year and a half, so he may be a little bit rusty, but that time he made a nice play. Stayed low, got the blocker off of him, and made the tackle.
Second down, long 8 or short 9, however you like it. They picked up a yard and a half on the play. That's Colasar in motion. Ball goes to Jamie Morris. Morris cuts it back into the help. It is White, Gerald White carrying, and White gets it up across the 10. So it'll be third down and about 7th as you look ahead to Monday night and you find the Denver Broncos and Pittsburgh Steelers in your immediate future on ABC's NFL Monday Night Football. Steelers took a whacking last week. Seattle. Denver won over the Raiders. Michigan has not thrown the football to their big target, Paul Jokic, the 6'8" wide receiver is yet. They go back to the I formation. And Harbaugh is back to throw this time, getting some pressure. And he's out of bounds at the 5. Robert Banks that time made the play.
He is a talent. Now, we said he had a tough time adjusting to his new position in the first quarter, and he did. He lost outside containment. He didn't wrap up on a tackle, and it cost him a touchdown. So Banks is an outstanding athlete. Good speed becomes excellent speed when you go from
Robbins punting out of the back of his end zone, averaged just over 40 last year per kick. Pressure's on it. He gets it out. High kick, no spin on it. It's going to be a short kick. And it takes a Notre Dame bounce back upfield. Oh, boy. Haywood comes hobbling off a free safety for Notre Dame. He hurt an ankle on the play. But more importantly, Robbins gets only a 23-yard punt. And if the Michigan man hadn't grabbed the ball when he did, it would be back inside the 20.
There are those ghosts again in this stadium. You know, you look at these two teams on paper, and Michigan is bigger, stronger, faster, better players. But when I said that to Lou Holtz yesterday, he said, hey, if we played this game on paper, we put it in the computer and just say, oh, look, we lost to Michigan. Don't do that. You come into Notre Dame, tough place to play, and the Irish play well here.
Green and Taylor go into a wishbone formation with Brown. Brown has it, and Brown goes to the 20. Picked up 6 yards on the carry, brought down by Garland Rivers.
I'll tell you, I would throw a flag on that one. Number 14, Tony Gant, Michigan's defensive back, came in and actually speared Brown when he was on the ground. That's illegal. You can't use that helmet as a weapon, and you can't spear.
Second down, a little more than 4 yards for the Irish, just short of the 20 of Michigan. 5-man front for the Wolverines. Furline to Green. Green is caught and brought down by Todd Schulte, one of the twin brothers on the Michigan team. The other is Tim. In fact, there are 3 twin brothers on the Michigan varsity roster.
If he didn't make that tackle, kiss it goodbye.
3 sets of twins, I guess is the proper way to put it.
He was the last man between him and the goal line.
Right. It is now 3rd and 3. And the Irish go to the wishbone. Furline back to throw it. All day. Waits it away to Jackson. Jackson is knocked out of bounds. Just short of the 15. Close to the first down. May have it. Mark is good. Yes, he has it. At the 15. Andre McIntyre knocked him out of bounds.
Interesting play. When you go to the wishbone, the true wishbone, you have one wide out, and that guy's usually covered man-to-man. That's exactly what you want to do. Bill Jackson is a big, strong receiver with good speed. You get him man-to-man, 9 times out of 10, if you get the ball anywhere near him, he's going to make the catch. It's an ideal passing situation for the Irish.
First down at the Michigan 15. Brown. Good surge by the offensive right side of the line, giving Brown the crack, and he picks up 4 yards.
Notre Dame is using Timmy Brown a lot like San Diego used Gary Anderson. Inside, outside, up the middle, and around the corner.
Well, we knew when the Air Force Academy and Army had so much success with the wishbone, and of course Oklahoma, that other teams would be going back to it. I didn't expect to see it this much in this game. This is Brown carrying, and once again, he's got the better part of 4 yards as he's inside the 10 and near the 7.
Well, Michigan wanted a fumble. They aren't going to get it. Brown can't cause a fumble. He had it when he went down. This guy, he does remind me of Gary Anderson. Now watch this cut. Up and over. Almost got tangled up with his own blocker. The ball comes loose there. Timmy Brown, he sang in a church choir in his hometown since the 9th grade. Still does, still will continue. Today he's got a lot of other things on his mind. He's playing well. 7-7. We'll be back.
Billy D. Williams on body language.
You know, body language tells you a lot about what a person's thinking. For instance, that means she has an interest in the fight.
Nissan, America's #1 selling import car.
Notre Dame comes in a zone defense. Morris slips underneath. Fairly safe play. Got the first down.
Got a pretty good mark, too. I thought his knee was, he hit the ground back around the 27, but they've given him to the 30. And he's got the first down.
You know, those marks are shaky. I've never agreed with a referee when he's ready to mark the ball. I used to try to go and argue with him. Say, hey, wait a minute, he fell down back there.
Never won either, did you?
Rarely.
Into the middle. That time, Jamie Morris is covered by a lot of folks in the dark blue. It'll be second down and 7 at halftime. Jim Lance will be back with scores and highlights, and there have been some surprises across the country, and undoubtedly more to come. It always happens the first 4 weeks of the season. Pitch out Morris, looking for the reverse. Colasar's got it, coming around, got blockers in front of him. Shakes one, and gets a first down. Took some punishment, but he got it out of bounds at the 43. Troy Wilson and Robert Banks were the people coming back to get him.
All right, watch the bottom of your screen now. You have to wonder where the pursuit is. See 56 there? He's the trail man. He's got to stay on the outside leg of that ball carrier so that if anything does come back his way, he'll be there to make the tackle. He doesn't. All right, now here he comes
first down. Jokic was available for a long time, but by the time that Harbaugh saw him, he was running for his life.
Well, what Harbaugh did is he felt the pressure from the inside. Once he started rolling to his right, he couldn't see back down the middle to his left where Jokic was. But what he did do is he kept going out to that corner and made the cornerback and the outside people commit themselves to the run. And then once they did that, then he just dropped the ball over them.
Michigan's offense, 94 yards running, 94 yards passing. It's first down at the Notre Dame 29. 14-7 Irish lead. 4:05 to go first half. This is White. And White gets outside, sees three blue shirts out there, cuts it back and gets it to the 25. Give him 4 on that carry, brought down by West Pritchett. Coach Fazio is the defensive coordinator for the Irish. And I don't think I need to tell you anymore, because you know the Notre Dame defense is going to play better and better and better as time wears on, as he moves people around to find the proper place. And they will succeed in time. Second down and 6. Right now, they're projecting a 14-7 Irish lead. Harbaugh keeps it. Gets away from Banks. Harbaugh running around, throws to the sidelines. Colasar at the 15. And knocked out at about the 13, and a penalty flag is thrown. Down on the sidelines, I think. I saw a man whip a yellow flag out of his pocket.
I believe it's going to be a personal foul, hitting late out of bounds. Well, I tell you, the best quality Harbaugh has, and he has plenty of great, talented quarterback. But his best talent is right there. He's evasive. He's quicker than you think. He gains a lot of time by running around back there. He's got great feel. He can feel when you're behind him. He turns and he finds a receiver, no matter how late it is. Now, here comes the late hit.
There's the late hit right there. Number 12, Troy Wilson. Probably would have been all right if he hadn't thrown the elbow. But that's the fervor of the moment.
I can't comment on that. I could have been the most penalized man in the Atlantic Coast Conference, but it's not. You're not doing it to be belligerent. I think you're just doing it out of aggressiveness.
John Nealon defines it as personal foul out of bounds, and the ball goes down to the 6-yard line, where it's Michigan first and goal to go at the Irish 6. First and goal. Now you got Jamie Morris back in the lineup with Perriman and White. Michigan goes back to the wishbone formation at 3:10 to go in the first half. Harbaugh keeps it, turns it upfield, and goes down at the 5. A yard on the play. And let me correct the call. It is first down and 4. First and 4. Now it is second down and about maybe 2.5. So they can get a first down without scoring here. Perriman leaves and Colasar comes back now as they send the speed man back into the lineup. Michigan with an opportunity to tie the game right here. Stay in the wishbone. Nope, and they'll break it and go to the eye as Colasar goes outside, taking a man with him. Pitch, Morris. Jamie Morris, hold up the middle. Closes quickly at the 4. Wally Klein shut the door on him. Looked like he had a hole. He cut right back to it, but Klein was there.
We've talked a lot about the Notre Dame outside people. This time they make the play. Look at Klein, 96. Just strings the play out as far as he can go until Morris says, hey, wait a minute, I better cut this thing back up inside. As soon as he does, Klein sheds the blocker and makes the tackle. We've got Kovaleski now teamed with 11 tackles, so his dance card is full.
It certainly is. Third down and 2. The ball is still at the 5. Jokic wide to the top of the picture. Harbaugh
man defense. They've stretched, but they haven't broken down close, and they're getting better every series. If they can continue to improve, that's all the coaches can ask.
Penalties against Michigan. Well, the Irish get pretty good field position here with 47 seconds to go in the first half. They're going to come back and re-kick it because of the penalty. You look down the Notre Dame schedule, and it can be terrifying because they go to Michigan State next, then they play Purdue here, then they go to Alabama, then they play Pitt, then they play Air Force, a team that's bumped them around the last 4 years, then they go to Navy, and SMU, and Penn State, then to LSU, and to USC.
If you wonder about the resolve of Lou Holtz, know this. He saw that Notre Dame schedule before he took the job.
Look at the time Michigan used in that scoring drive and wound up with only 3 points. So they back it up to the 30-yard line where Sutkovich will kick it again, and Brown now moves outside his own 5 to accept it. So they could get pretty good field position out of this. Good high hanging kick though, should get good coverage. Brown takes it up at the 14-yard line, gets to the outside. Loses his footing as he started to cut back at the 31. Make it 32.
He's fun to watch. Did you see him do that little tap dance at the end? He knew how close he was to breaking. And when he tried to cut in, his foot came out from under him. A couple tacklers in the area, but he really felt he's the kind of guy that has shot for Carney. And 3 more points for Notre Dame. Looking back into the sun or not, he should have made the catch.
4 seconds to play in the first half. Erline drops. Cut trips to the top of the picture. Puts it in the air as far as he can throw it. And it's incomplete. And the first half is over. So,
Jelks, who was out with a groin injury. Mississippi State upset Tennessee 27-23. We'll have highlights and a live interview from Knoxville just a little bit later in halftime. New Mexico leads Brigham Young in Provo 30-24, as we told you just moments ago. Another brilliant performance by New Mexico senior quarterback Billy Rucker during the closing minutes of that game. And here is the touchdown, which, if it stands up, is going to account for the winning margin in that game. It came after the recovery of a fumble on a kickoff following a long New Mexico drive and a touchdown. Rucker going in from 17 yards out himself to give New Mexico what is presently their working margin. In the rain in Seattle, Washington is pounding Ohio State 27-7. Now in the fourth quarter, the Buckeyes haven't opened that 0-2 in 92 years. That will be their record if they lose today. Georgia beats Duke in the first meeting ever between those two teams. James Jackson, Georgia quarterback, 16 of 22 for 193 yards and a touchdown. No Bulldog quarterback has thrown for 200 yards since Matt Robinson in 1974. Iowa pounded Iowa State 43-7. New quarterback Mark Vlasic, 286 yards passing and 2 touchdowns. Boston College came from behind to beat California 21-13. Lost the starting quarterback today, Mike Power, for 6 or 8 weeks with a broken ankle, but his backup, Mark Camphouse, came in to get the victory for BC. And the Eagles also played without All-America running back candidate Troy Stratford. But it didn't hurt, as Jim Turner got this 1-yard touchdown run in the fourth quarter. When they had 19-15, they later got a safety and held on to win it. Comeback victory for BC after last week's loss. Virginia Tech beat Clemson 20-14. First time in 35 games and 32 years Clemson has lost to a team from the Virginia State. Furman tied Georgia Tech 17-17. Furman is a Division I AA team with a new coach in Jimmy Satterfield. That's a very satisfying result for him. Indiana beat Louisville 21-0. Schnellenberger's Cardinals have now been shut out in their opening 2 games of the season, and he still doesn't have a win over a Division IA team in his tenure at Louisville. North Carolina playing without tailback Derek Finner, who was suspended and left behind in Chapel Hill, nevertheless beat Kansas 20-0 as Kansas suffered 5 turnovers and had 2 field goals blocked. Rutgers tied Kentucky at Kentucky 16-16. Second straight outstanding performance for Dick Anderson's team in Kentucky. Needed a field goal from Joe Worley, 32 yards out, 1 second on the clock to bring off the tie. Army is hanging on to a 33-28 lead over Syracuse in West Point. 3 minutes left in the game. It was 33-14 Army, but Syracuse has come back with a Byron Abraham touchdown run and a 6-yard run by McPherson. Clarence Jones, 3 TDs for the Black Knights of the Hudson. Navy got a victory over Virginia. George Welsh now 2-3 against Navy, his alma mater, since going to Virginia 5 years ago. Bill Byrne, the Navy quarterback, threw well and ran for a touchdown. Wisconsin is beating Northern Illinois. Mike Howard, the Wisconsin quarterback, has 4 touchdown passes in that game. Ball State at Purdue, debut game for their most highly touted quarterback in the country, Jeff George of Purdue, threw his first touchdown pass in the 3rd quarter, a 30-yarder to Rich Runner, and the first 2 interceptions in a shaky start. 236 family members and friends that bought season tickets to watch George play as a freshman at Purdue. They all sit in a block on the visitor side of the field. Missouri is leading Utah State 24-10 in the 4th quarter in what is a must-win for beleaguered Missouri coach Woody Widenhofer, 110 a year ago. And TCU has a 34-17 win over Tulane. In that game, Tony Jeffrey of TCU has over 250 yards rushing and 4 touchdowns, and he has broken the school record for rushing. Those are the important teams in college football, which are not playing today. Back with more after this.
Nearing the end of halftime with our score, Notre Dame 14, Michigan 10. Here's how the scoring was done. The 3 touchdowns in the first half. Irish got off the board first as Tim Brown took it in from 3 yards.
It was Burline's passing that set up this touchdown. He was 4 of 5 in this drive for 42 yards, and here comes Tim Brown with a lot of speed. Gets out on the corner. See the move right there? That right there makes the outside contained man hesitate, and then his speed just takes it around, and he gets into the very corner of the end zone.
Michigan came pounding right back, using a lot of the clock, and their touchdown came on this tough 8-yard run by Jamie Morris.
Right side of the screen now. You see the offensive line of Michigan dominated, but 56 Banks couldn't wrap him up, and Morris bounced outside and scored.
But the Irish came pounding right back after a short 23-yard kick by Michigan, and Mark Green took it over the top from a yard out. That was their 14th point. Michigan got a 23-yard field goal to make it 14-10 at halftime. And now we join Al Trotwig.
Well, Keith, you know, this is my first trip to Notre Dame, and if this place doesn't get your college football juices going, nothing will. One thing bothered me, though, and that was I didn't know the origin of the nickname Fighting Irish. So yesterday we roamed around this beautiful campus in search of finding out why this team has that nickname.
I think it's the tradition dating back to the Irish legacy and that sort of thing. I don't know.
I have no idea. They used to be called the Ramblers, didn't they? Why they called the Fighting Irish, I have no idea.
Yeah, come on a bunch of the bars in South Bend.
They call them the Fighting Irish because they're tough. The potato famine got it all started. Those guys didn't know how to feed themselves, and they got tough and they got mean.
The Fighting Irish picked up because there were so many Irish Catholic on the team, what have you. And everybody in the country began to relate to it that way. That's true? Is that what you're asking?
Thank you very much. Well, the problem is there are so many conflicting stories, it's tough to tell what the real one is. But here's Grandpa Leprechaun to clarify it. It seems the best story was in 1909, Notre Dame is playing Michigan, coincidentally enough. And what happened, Grandpa?
Well, I happened to be in the locker room, and Kelly was a quarterback, and he said, "You Irish laddies, O'Brien, O'Connell, and Dougherty, and so on and so forth, you're not going out there and fighting, so let's get out there and fight." So they went out in the second half, the laddies and played some ball.
And the headline in the paper the next day said, "The Fighting Irish were winners," and it's told that they were called that after that. Right now, the Fighting Irish are leading Michigan 14-10. Our coverage will continue on ABC. This is CFA College Football right after this.
In these days of microcomponent technology, you can find office copiers that do almost anything. Some duplex, sort, automatically reduce and enlarge.
Can I use your copier?
It's down again. Try 23.
Thanks.
Some collate, margin shift.
Is your copier working? Sorry. Terrific.
But at Rico, we found that the most popular feature our copiers deliver is that our copiers deliver. Rico, copiers built to work and work and work.
These are the hands of Mr. Goodwrench. Hands that work. Hands with the know-how to fix things. Hands that are strong and sure. Hands that are gentle, accurate. Hands that can almost see where the trouble is and how to make it right again. Hands of skill. Hands that care. The working hands of Mr. Goodwrench. And no one knows your GM car better. No one.
This is where it begins. Anywhere there's moisture, there's the chance of catching athlete's foot. This is where it ends. Mycotin. Only Mycotin cures athlete's foot with myconazole, a medically proven ingredient that eliminates athlete's foot. This is where athlete's foot begins. This is where it ends. Mycotin, the end of athlete's foot.
Which cereal has more vitamin nutrition than any other? Kellogg's Product 19 cereal. But you'd never guess.
Oh.
Because Product 19 vitamins are flaky, bumpy, crispy, crunchy, tasty. 100% of 12 vitamins and minerals, all in these tasty flakes.
Delicious.
Kellogg's Product 19.
Flaky.
Bumpy.
Crispy. Crunchy.
Tasty vitamins.
CFA College Football. This ABC Sports exclusive is being brought to you by Chevrolet, who invite you to drive today's Chevy, live today's Chevy. And by CertainTeed, manufacturer of America's finest quality of home insulation.
Lou Holtz trying to make this a coaching debut to remember his Fighting Irish lead Michigan 14-10 with a couple of touchdowns and some great defense. I'm Al Trowig along with the general marketing manager of Chevrolet, Mr. Tom Stout. We are here to announce the tradition continues on ABC today. It's the Chevrolet Scholarship Fund. At the end of each college football game, Chevrolet will award on behalf of each school in honor of one player from each team $1,000 to the General Scholarship Fund. Well, Tom, we've had a great game today, and boy, it's a big year also for Chevrolet, isn't it?
Well, we've got a barn burner going, don't we, Al, between two great universities with great traditions. And if this isn't college football and about its most exciting, I don't know what is. And yeah, it's an exciting year for Chevrolet. This is our 75th anniversary, and we've been part of America over all those years. And this is our 16th scholarship season. And since 1971, we've awarded more than 2,500 scholarships to universities large and small all across this great country.
Well, you know, I think it's important to note that the money not only goes to the athletes, but all the students at the universities, and that's really the crux of the spirit of this whole program, isn't it?
That's right, Al. As important, as exciting as this game is, there's students right now in laboratories and libraries across the country doing very important work, and their quest for excellence out of all...
Got up in the rushing yardage on that drive. They also came up and held the ball for more than 7 minutes. So you can see their time of possession improved. But I think, Keith, that we should make mention here that Bo Schembechler is one of the best in the locker room. Well, so is Lou Holtz. But Bo Schembechler was behind 9-3 at the half last year against Notre Dame, came back to win it. Behind in the Fiesta Bowl at half, came back to win it. And right now, that defense is having a tough time overcoming the loss of Valerie Hammerstein and Cochran off that Michigan defense. They've got to adjust and stop this Irish attack.
I would say that Bo does tend to deal with harsh reality at that time as he's failing.
He does not mince words. He'll go right after you, tell you what he thinks. He also is great technically. He's fundamentally sound, and he'll make adjustments. But look at this. Here's the guy we talked about. Bo Molesky has 12 individual tackles. And we'll try to keep an eye on him in the second half because he's been playing up in the line of scrimmage. Then he'll drop back, he'll play, he'll move. He's giving Harbaugh a different look. But whatever the case may be, wherever the ball goes, he gets into that offense.
I thought as much as anything has more than the numbers that he's put on the board. And I thought Green and Brown were really outstanding. The Michigan defense leading tackler Mester. And there's been one turnover in the ball game. That a fumble by Reggie Ward that Michigan recovered. Colasar goes in motion on 2nd down and 4. Ball goes back to Morris again, and Jamie's got the first down as he pounds through the middle, and they're finding some daylight on the right side. Kovalevsky making his 13th tackle of the ball game.
Well, we told you he's been moving all around. This time he's not in the line of scrimmage. He's sitting back. But see his reaction time. No false steps. Right away, he goes to the left, goes to the distance of the ball, gets rid of that one blocker, and makes a tackle. Morris is pretty quick, though. He's got those quick feet. We talked about those fast twitch muscle fibers last week. He's got them.
First down for the Wolverines. Put the ball at the 33. Harbaugh rolls it out. Flying Zachary. Gets some help. Downfield. Pass caught. Jokic down at the Irish 40. First down, Michigan. Randy Wells shoved him out of bounds. So Jokic finally sees the ball for the first time today.
Jokic is deceptive. You watch him on film, you watch him in practice, he's got those long strides. Doesn't look like he's that fast, but he's got tremendous speed and deception. That time they utilized him, got him back off the smaller defensive backs, and he threw it high and he made the catch. Basketball player. Played his first 2 years in the basketball team.
From the 40 of the Irish. Morris slips and falls right about the line of scrimmage. Maybe a half yard or so.
I think Wally Klein scared him to death. Wally Klein has a little bit of problem sometimes coming across that line of scrimmage high. And against the little back like Morris, who's only 5'7", it causes some problems. But he put that big bear claw out there and started swinging at Morris and slid down. Fear factor was involved.
It'll be 2nd down and 10 from the 40. Big play in this possession, the pass. From Harbaugh to Jokic. Harbaugh back again. Gets his pass away to the sidelines, and I don't think Jokic ever saw it. He looked back into the sun. Now, looking back from that angle is very, very difficult in the stadium because you're staring right into the sun, and I don't think he ever picked up the ball.
You made that point in the first half that it cost Notre Dame a field goal, so it must be a factor down here. But watch this. As Jokic runs his sideline and up pattern, the ball's right there. He looks back, but Steve Lawrence, the defensive back, it hit his right hand. He never looked over his shoulder. When that receiver looks back, that defender also has to know the ball's in the area, and he has to adjust and go up quickly at its highest point.
So it's 3rd down and 10. Now you get 3 wideouts in the ball game for Michigan. Ken Higgins, number 31, the 3rd wideout. Banks is after it. Harbaugh runs away from it. Now gets it off to White. White's got a first down, and then some as he dives to the 20. First down, Wolverines. The mobility of Harbaugh, the discipline of Harbaugh, the patience the young man has is quite remarkable.
If there's not a play available, then he will invent something. Now, you watch what happens here. He drops back and looks at every possible receiver. Now it goes to the left. All right, now here when he runs, he puts pressure on the corner. See Kovalevsky, he's got to commit himself and come up. Once he does, he leaves the flat open. And there, of course, is White. He's the receiver.
So Michigan moving the ball here at the start of the second half. Just beginning. Harbaugh gives it to Morris. Morris finds some room, and he's close to the 15 before he is thrown down. Kovalevsky leading the defensive play for Notre Dame. Greg
lot like Anthony Carter. He runs like AC. And here's bigger. You mentioned that the Bo Sox made him their #1 draft pick, offered him $250,000. He came to get his education. You know, Maryland had a situation like that. Willie Wilson signed with the University of Maryland several years back, and he opted to play baseball with the Royals. Had a brilliant baseball career.
Vitale comes over the ball at center for Michigan now. On 3rd down and 7. The ball back at the 17. Harbaugh fires. Got a man at the 6-yard line. Higgins, and it's 1st and goal, Michigan. So Higgins makes his first catch. He's a senior, 190-pounder out of Battle Creek, Michigan.
Harbaugh, his dad is a head football coach. Grew up in the locker room at the University of Michigan when his dad was an assistant for Bo Schembechler. There's nothing fancy about this. The receiver just drives the defensive back off. And Ken Higgins plants and comes back for the football, which you always have to come back for that football and makes the
Actually,
catch.
he played most of his high school ball in Palo Alto, California, when Jack was out at Stanford.
That's right, as a little kid, though, he was here in Michigan.
Oh, yeah. It's 1st and goal from the 6 for the Wolverines. Out of that wishbone, they go inside to the big man, Perryman, and Perryman pounds along, and the linesman has marked him down at the 1. That linesman is marking with the left foot. The fellow we watched last week in Nebraska worked all day with his right foot.
You know, the officials, they're great guys, and they do a tremendous job. But marking the football is shaky, I'm telling you.
All you defensive backs are like that. Arbitrary. Davey Morris is out, and Thomas Wilshire is now in the backfield for Michigan, number 27. Harbaugh gives it to the second man, White, and White is held short. No, it's Perryman, short of the goal line. I thought the second man, White, got it, but it was Perryman. And so it is 3rd down and goal, and it is a half a yard.
We've talked about the size of that Michigan offensive line. Let's give some credit to Notre Dame. That goal line defense that time, those down linemen got down and submarine. They established a new line of scrimmage a yard deep in the backfield, and the linebackers filled.
Now who goes over the top? Harbaugh outside. Morris, foot race to the corner. He's in there. Touchdown. Cedric Figueroa just simply didn't have the speed to match Morris once Jamie got outside.
Comes back to the contain man again. Look at the top of your screen right now. Aren't they getting Harbaugh's face quickly? So nobody's scraping off to come upfield and make that play. Now here comes Figueroa. Cedric Figueroa got over there, but he should have been across that line of scrimmage and scraped off quicker.
Easy for you to say.
Well, that's exactly right. That's a tough play. I guarantee I watched guys run by me a lot. I had my head on a swivel.
Moons for the extra point. That pops it high in the air and good. And 8 minutes and 57 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. Michigan back on top. 17-14.
Who says you can't have one of the university's imported hops?
Zutkowitz will hit it from the 35. Michigan leading 17-14, and it's a very short kick. It'll bounce around and bounce back upfield. Michigan's got it. It hit a Notre Dame man. Michigan's got it. Doug Mallory, I think, is the man that came down and threw him on the football. A big break in the game. Notre Dame on that short kick. They kind of went to sleep on it, actually. Mad Decepta did not come up and make the play. It's Aaron Robb letting the ball bounce in front of him. Probably the last thing in the world that Aaron expected. You see it bounce off number 88, Andy Heck. And there's Doug Mallory to pounce on it. And the Michigan Wolverines are in business at the Notre Dame 27-yard line.
Interesting shot, though. When they came off the field, Lou Holtz calmly walked over and explained to him the error. You can't let the ball hit the ground. Andy Heck, of course, has to locate the ball before he can throw a block. Miscue. Good call.
Clock never moved on it. Still got 8:57 to go in the third quarter, and Harbaugh now looks to cash in. He's got a man gone into the corner.
But he never let him know that the finger was broken. He just threw the ball back to him and said, all right, let me see you do it.
All right, here comes the Irish now. Sass comes back with it. No, it's Ward. Reggie Ward, 83, comes back upfield with it. And a good determined run by Reggie Ward as he pokes out across the 35 to the 34-yard line. I would imagine that Reggie feels he's got something left to prove because he had the fumble in the first half.
Let me say something, though, Keith. You know, that Lou Holtz is a competitor. And I don't care how much he jokes, and he is a funny guy, and he is the master of motivation, but he is a competitor, and he loves these kids to death. I talked about Carrick, because this is a totally different team than we had last year against Miami. This is a totally different team that had those losses last year. They'll come back. This team's going to improve from quarter to quarter.
First down. The ball is on the Irish 34-yard line. 24-14. And Michigan scored 14 points in 6 seconds. Erline throws underneath to the tight end, Joel Williams, the senior from Monroeville, Pennsylvania. And he goes for a first down up at the 46. And now let's go back to Al Troutwig to finish the story.
Okay, I'm beginning to think I better let Reverend James really get back on the sidelines. He's been the team chaplain for 20 years. Now, you notice on that, for the Notre Dame team, you notice on the mosaic here, the hands up in the air. Well, on this campus, it has become known as Touchdown Jesus. Now, Father, has that bothered anyone at the university?
I don't believe so, Al. It's a typical thing that students do, and I think that they have a lot of respect for sometimes to kind of equalize it. They just give it a nickname. And most of the statues on campus have nicknames.
I know you're dying to get back on the sidelines. What are you going to think to yourself when you get back there in just a few minutes?
Well, we're going to be all right. We talked at the beginning of the season, or Lou talked at the beginning of the game about a little bit of adversity, and I think we just experienced it. They got 2 touchdowns, so we're going to be all right.
All right, Keith, from this beautiful vantage point, back to you.
All right, Al. The ball is just short of the well, I'll call it the 48. The ball's actually touching the hash mark, delineating the 48-yard line. Davy Brown comes to the bottom of the picture now. Second down, 7 yards to go. Erline drops. Steve looks downfield, has time, goes out of bounds. To Alvin Miller. Incomplete forward pass. So that will come back now, and they'll be looking at 3rd and long at 7:41 to go in the 3rd quarter and trailing by 10 points. Notre Dame on 3rd down conversion attempts in the ball game. 6 for 6.
Big 0 on the right-hand side there is important to Steve Erline.
Miller makes the catch. And he is at the Michigan 37.
Lou Holtz shuttles his plays in and out. Now, he saw a 2-deep zone from Michigan last time. We told you the way to attack that is across the middle. So he came right back with the receiver, Alvin Miller, number 17, across the middle. See, they come up and they bump him. Now you get back into the zone part, the 2-deep zone. And there it is, wide open across the middle. You got to get help from that linebacker back there, and the safety has to come over and assist as well.
Miller is out, and Bill Jackson is in at the wide receiver spot. Looks like Alvin took a shot. He's carried a kind of a bad leg for 2 seasons. Erline rides it off to his fullback. And Pernell Taylor, who hasn't seen the ball a whole lot today, he's been primarily a blocking back. And he slams in there and gets good yardage on that carry. About 4.
This is a drive that answered any questions we may have had and anybody else in this stadium about facing adversity. They're coming right back at Michigan now and saying, take this, we're not done, we're not quitting, we're coming back, we're driving it down the field.
Ball is on the 33-yard line. Second down and 6. Tailback, Mark Green to about the 31. Picked up 2. Number 60, Martin Messner, almost nailed him solid. He just got a piece of him. But Messner was the leading tackler for Michigan, the defensive tackle, 6'3", 250 from Hartman, Michigan in the first half. In comes Andy Heck to play now, the tight end. The ball in the melee.
He picked it up and
Green picked it up.
Erline makes a good read on this. See him fake to the dive man, and now everybody's outside, so things are loose. He turns it up, knows what he needs for the first down, but see, the ball's loose, and it was loose before he hit the ground. Mark Green, the pitch man, very alertly came back, picked it up, and dove forward.
What about the old rule that you can't advance a fumble?
To the 28-yard line, but that was going to be my point. Very smart move. What? Pick it up and just lunge. Okay? But you can't advance the fumble. That's against the rules.
Well, why didn't somebody on the Michigan side protest it?
Well, because the bottom line is he didn't get up and run with it. Just picked it up and fell forward.
That's advancing it. It is 4th down and inches for Notre Dame. Erline, behind his offensive line, will have the first down. Just about the Michigan 26-yard line. I can see Dave Nelson mumbling right now. First down for the Irish at the Michigan 26. 5:15 to go, third quarter. 24-14. Michigan leads by 10. This is different. Inside the 15 to the 14. That's another Notre Dame first down.
Notre Dame went back to the short side of the field, hit that corner quickly. 24, Mark Green helped that guy right there. Number 81, Tim Brown, get around that corner. Now, Green didn't throw a physical block, but he got in the way and just tied up the defensive back with that corner when Green turned it inside.
That's 16 first down for the Irish. Go to the wishbone. Mark Green, penalty flag, a yard for Green. That might be a hold on the offense. Against Michigan. Offside against Michigan.
You can see that early, too. Berline had a long count. You can see the guys jump on the line of scrimmage.
Anthony Johnson checks into the backfield, replacing Mark Green. Remember, he's 220 pounds. He carried him one time. The first half had a big play. There's contact. Made by number 56, Billy Harris. On the center, Chuck Lanza.
Oh, Shep Beckler is livid.
Mistakes like that will get you beaten. John Nealon takes the football down to the 4. It is first down and 1 for the first down. 4 yards away from the goal line. So they can get a first down just about the 3. And they've got double time in the line in here now.
Notre Dame's had success hitting that Michigan corner. I wouldn't be surprised if they did it again. Run pass option.
Got Brown in motion. Pitch it to Johnson. Down linesman's going to mark him on about the 1-yard line as Andy Moeller came flying in to make the hit from the linebacker spot. Green comes back to the play now.
They went after the corner, but the contain man on the outside turned it back in, and then he had to fight his way right back into the pursuit.
I say 1, make it 5-yard line. So they need now about a yard and a half on second down for their first down. Ball resting just outside the 5. 3.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. This is Tim Brown. He dives and looks like he's got his first down. Brown looks like he's been playing running back all of his life, doesn't he? Brown comes out now, and Reggie Ward goes in. You're now in 4 down, certainly 4 down country, with first down and goal from the 3.
Taken out of the Michigan textbook. Fake run and just push pass. Wide open. Everybody committed to the line of scrimmage.
Carney's extra point. No good. Missed it. Missed the extra point. 24-20. Big difference. Big difference. 3 minutes and 10 seconds to play in the third quarter. He had 3 kicks blocked late last year. He made only 1 field goal in the last 5 games, 21 out of 24 extra points. But a lot of difference between 24-20 and 24-21. Jamie Morris and John Colasar waiting for Carney's kickoff. He hasn't let anybody return one all day. Well, he did too. They ran one out of the end zone to start the half, but this time Colasar thinks better of it because he's about 6 yards deep in the end zone. And he stays there. And so Michigan will come out to the 20, first down. 24-20 ball game. But I think to go back to a point you made a little while ago, Tim, that Lou Holt's got to be happy, and the whole coaching staff's got to be happy to see their team come banging right back after Michigan had stunned them with 14 points in 6 seconds.
Keith, one of the key plays, of course, was Furlan fumbling the football, Green picking it up. Now, the rule says if recovered by the fumbling team, the play continues. So he can go forward with it. Now, if the defense recovers it, the ball's dead.
Okay. First down from the 20. Harbaugh gives to Morris. Jamie Morris from the 20 to the 24.
All right, here's that play we just talked about. Now, we've got the rule out, and it's right here in front of me on page 77. Here comes Berline. Berline turns it up. And now when he fumbles it, if Michigan recovered it, it'd be dead right there. And it'd be Michigan's ball. But Green picks it up, the play continues. Article 2, Section C, Davey Nelson.
Second down and 6.
2.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Harriman's in the backfield now, and Morris is out. It's Harriman and White. Harbaugh rolls it out, gets his pass away, intended for Harriman, and it is incomplete. Harriman bolting out of the backfield, covered by Randy Wells, and the pass was just simply thrown beyond the reach of both men. Harbaugh, 11 completions for 10 first downs and a touchdown, so he has been very effective in the game, and that, well, may have been the worst pass he's thrown all day.
That play was made, though, by the defense. Robert Banks and old Tom Gordon, the defensive tackle, got into him in a hurry, put pressure on him, and he had to rush the throw.
Third down now for Michigan, and 6. Pretty good size play right here for the Wolverines and Old Mo. Harbaugh's pass is away and short of Higgins, the intended receiver, and they'll have to punt.
Boy, I tell you, that Notre Dame defense is strapping it on down. That time, Mike Griffin, big number 94, came through and applied the pressure. Made him hurry the throw again.
Monty Robbins has punted one time today for 23 yards. Troy Wilson is the deep man for Notre Dame. No pressure. And he still didn't get all of it. Wilson comes up and accepts it and takes the punishment, but he's got good field position with it. It'll be first down, Notre Dame at their own 47. That a 31-yard punt.
This is it. The biggest car buying news in decades. Chevrolet announces...
Jeffrey had 16 carries, 343 yards, 5 touchdowns. 2 chances at the end of the game to perhaps break the record, but other players carried the ball in the last 2 plays for TCU. The record being the 357-yard game by Ruben Mays. That's the NCAA record 2 years ago for Washington State. Jeffrey did break the Southwest Conference record for rushing, previously held by Rosie Lee. 16 carries, 343 yards. Heath?
All right, Jim, and we look at the quarterback comparison, the efficiency of the two. Edge goes to Harbaugh. He has a 24-20 lead right now, but Steve Berline has the ball. First down at the Irish 47. And he's throwing on first down. Swings it out to Green. Big Wilker's in front of him, and he's on his way. All the way to the 25. A 28-yard play. Because they give him almost the 24.
The play is set up beautifully. They fake to the back. They get it out. Now here come all the linemen. They pulled and got out there quickly. Now there's the difference in team speed. The time Lou Holtz got here till now. He's had them work on weights to get stronger. He's tried to improve their speed. They got out Third turnover. Good hard run, straight ahead play, got good blocking. There's the lick. And all of a sudden, second effort, and the ball comes out with the right hand of the wrap, knocks it loose. You can see it coming. That's Garland Rivers. We talked about him in the pregame. He's a hard hitter. That time, not so much the leverage that he had. It was the right arm that swung around up underneath the ball.
This is a full-size ship. That's a full-sized Ford.
The Condors the lead last time before the half. What do you say here for the Barons? It's a run. Kingston 34 yards on 10 carries. So they've been keeping him in check. Something many teams have failed to do this season. And, oh man, he is still going. Kenny still running through everyone. Inches short of the first down. Wow, what a run. Looks like they're going QB sneak. They're stacking up the A-gaps. If they stop them, no sir. Jabari Jackson has got the first. Single back formation. He's still trying to bounce outside. Defense again. Stubborn. Once it breaks off that one big run, these guys are there to reassure that, hey, you're not going to be able to run the ball against us all night. You're doing a great job. Nice throw. That is fun. Third and 6. Jackson's got a wide open Keyshawn Williams. First down.
And Michigan Wolverines take over just outside their 15-yard line. Hammered that right hand in there, and the ball squirted out. And here comes Michigan now, with a minute to go in the third quarter. Michigan leading 24-20. Harbaugh on first down, the pass. Swings it out to Jamie Morris. Morris is run down by Cedric Figueroa. Cedric been chasing him all day out there in the corner and finally got him.
Well, I tell you, he saw that play coming, too. He came across the line of scrimmage. He stopped just long enough to make Harbaugh think that he was going to be out there to contain him and put pressure on him. As soon as Harbaugh saw that, pulled up and released the ball and got it outside. Well, he broke on the football immediately and got over there and made the tackle.
It's been a fist fight up to this point. Michigan now, second down. Loss on that play of 3. Second and 13. Jamie Morris picks his way through to the 20. So that'll go down as a 6-yard run for Jamie Morris. And the third quarter is over. 24-20, Wolverines lead the Fighting Irish. CFA College Football continues after this message. Word along the station.
Nobody but General Motors offers so many deals.
What a hit. They anticipated that. That was a heavy blitz sent on the linebackers. Wasn't going to get by 43. There's a throw to the end zone. And that is going to be just short. Malcolm Young to the 1-yard line. First and goal, Barons. And this is just understanding your leverage, right? You see the double crossing drags. Young had this guy beat big time, put me on that other end, come on the other side. Almost found his way himself in the end zone here. They want to run forward and still try to get it for a second rushing touchdown in the game, but no sir. Let's stuff in the backfield. Look what it is again. Jacob Reed Jr. It's everywhere the football is. Another handoff, still stopped at the line. the rookie, Rondell Smith Jr. Running from behind, third and goal. Can they find their way in? Here's a throw. Catches me. Touchdown, Bears. Touchdown, Bears.
Michigan Investment Representative for 800-255-7710. The Franklin Group of Funds. When opportunity strikes, be ready.
Right now, your Toyota dealer has trucks, and more trucks. So you're going to save bucks, and more bucks. It's the biggest summer selection in Toyota history. Save on a full line of America's #1 selling small trucks, 4x4s, 4x2s, even 4Runners. Check out the special prices your local Toyota dealer is offering today. Just to save bucks, and more bucks. You got to do it while he still has trucks, and more trucks. Toyota, the right deal, right now.
Fred Lancaster, the legend, next on Donahue from L.A.
It is third down and 6. In this ball game, the score is 24-20. All Jokic, Ed Higgins, John Colasar, 3 wideouts in the lineup now. No tight end in there. Jokic has caught only 1 ball today. That was a 27-yard gain. Colasar's not in, and it's McMurtry in at the flanker spot. McMurtry and Jokic all walking to the top of the picture. Pass down the middle. Jokic, and it is good for a first down. Up at the 31-yard line. That time the big guy rolled into it, took it sliding down.
Very big play. Notre Dame wanted to stop him there and turn over and get the ball right back to the offense. Notre Dame was aggressive defensively. They rolled up the strong safety and put him in close to the tight end. Instead, they went to Jokic, and you're right, they brought him right across that middle underneath the coverage.
Gerald White becomes the tailback as Morris leaves. Meriden comes in at fullback for Michigan. First down at near the 32. White tries to find a little daylight. Not much there as Tom Gorman brings him down, and Dave Butler, number 37, the linebacker, had stepped into the backfield and missed the play.
As the quarter ended and we began this fourth quarter, the teams took their stroll down and changed sides. Everybody on the Notre Dame sideline, all the players put up their right hand with the number 4, 4 fingers high in the air, signifying that, hey, we may have been weak in the past in the fourth quarter, but now the fourth quarter is going to be ours. It's something that Lou Holtz instigated as soon as he came here to Notre Dame. He wants them to be stronger in the fourth quarter, but Michigan can wear you down.
Second down, it's still about 10. Back to throw the ball. It goes deep down the middle for Higgins, and it's too long.
Well, it's highlighted for you. That's the difference right now. No turnovers for Michigan, 3 turnovers for Notre Dame. Everything else is evened out quite nicely. It's been a close ball game, but those 3 turnovers have hurt the Irish badly.
13 minutes and 46 seconds to play in the football game. Michigan leading 24-20. Morris is back now in the backfield with Meriden. Third down and still about 10 from the 32. Harbaugh gives to Morris, and Jamie is smart at the 34. It'll be punting time for Monty Robbins.
Notre Dame defense is getting stingy, isn't it? Yep.
Interesting to watch Kovalevsky, though. On that pass play to Jokic, he got dropped off and was in the short zone. Sort of in no man's land, but they were able to get it just over his head. He's keyed things very well. Troy Wilson, the return man. This time, Robbins in one. Wilson at the 25 to about the 27, 40-yard punt. And Doug Mallory made the tackle. And 12 minutes and 59 seconds to play in the football game. The Irish
Back to Still, and he will not give in. Stand by San Jose. Franklin Mathis. Again, making a big play, and the Barons are going ultra aggressive. Fourth and goal. They think they can punch it in. Good to Still, and it is in the end zone. Touchdown, Barons. What a gutsy play. They said our guys up front are better than yours. We're going to take the chance. Kenny Still slapping a defensive tackle out the way. It just crosses that line. Huge statement right there by the Barons. Reigning champs find themselves down 21-9. 12-point deficit.
Annihilation of Ohio State and Division I AA Furman's tie with Division IA Georgia Tech. Keith?
Shocking score, 40-7, Washington leading. So after UCLA got pummeled last week by Oklahoma, and now Washington opens so big against Ohio State. Folks out on the West Coast might be thinking a little different line right now. USC opens tonight against Illinois. It's first down. As Steve Berline rolls it out, pumps it, now looks down the middle. He's got Brown wide open. Big play. The Michigan 41.
Dave Berline could be the most improved quarterback I've ever seen. He pumps to the outside, comes back across the middle. Now here he comes. There's Tim Brown, just drifting across the middle. He got lost in the coverage. Puts a little juke move on and gets out to the side. Now it's just a race, foot race. One big difference that we've seen in Notre Dame this year is that they've rushed the ball 152 yards, passed for 153, 9 first downs both ways, running and passing. We didn't see that last year.
Tim Brown has come out, dragging a leg. Berline hit from behind as he throws the ball, but still gets it to Reggie Ward. And Ward is down to the Michigan 25. Another first down. Mallory and Arnold were down there to get him, but Mallory is down hurt on the play.
Berline is just here. He is just playing with confidence, though, Keith. He sees the defenders coming. He knows he's going to take a lick and still releases the ball quickly. He got it up, threw it right off his ear, and got it out to the wide-open receiver.
And time is out now for Doug Mallory, shaken up on the play. He's the young man who has 2 fumble recoveries on the day. Berline, 5 out of 5 in his last 5 passes for 96 yards and a touchdown, so he's hot right now.
A man can spend years paying off an insurance policy and never reap its benefits.
Well, guess it's time to go.
We're gonna miss you, Grandma.
That's why the Equitable created Incentive Life. It lets you invest in a fund that's averaged 14.3% over the past 10 years. So a man will have something to enjoy.
Are you coming, Grandma?
Yes.
Well, there's still time for him to enjoy it. Incentive Life from the Equitable. For every man who wears Brute deodorant, there's a woman who'll be glad he did. Because a man who wears Brute deodorant is nice to be close to, and nobody knows that better than a woman. Only Brute deodorant gives you long-lasting protection with the great smell of Brute. Brute deodorant, cologne, and everything else. Brute. It smells like a man.
Great.
Notre Dame has had more Heisman Trophy winners in its illustrious history than any other school in the nation.
Doug Mallory being helped to the bench. It looks like left leg.
Well, here it is again. You can see him coming in and converging on Timmy Brown. He wraps him up good. Now watch his own player. Hits him right there in the knee, and you see the knee hyperextend. We hope it's not serious. It was just aggressiveness on both sides. That left knee was, or the left leg was locked into the ground when his own man hit him just above that knee.
Right now, Notre Dame knocking on the door. First down at the Michigan 25-yard line with 12 and a half minutes to play in the game. Burline to Green. And Green over the top to the 20. Checking the knee of Mallory. Tim Brown apparently just a mild sprain. He's said to be all right. He's back in the lineup. Second down, call it 5. This is Brown. Hits the chalk down around the 13-yard line. Make it to 12. That will be another Irish first down. A lot of time to go, 11:44, but this may be building one of the major stories of the season.
You said of the decade.
Well, that's right. It would go down in my top 10.
You know, Notre Dame is just having fun now. They're playing with fun and a great deal of confidence.
This is Green, and Green hit by Mallory hard. Moeller, rather. Moeller. And Andy Moeller knocks him sideways. There'll be no gain on the play. Green has 56 yards on 13 carries and a touchdown today. Now Tom Monahan, a senior fullback, comes into the lineup, replacing Pernell Taylor. You haven't seen a lot of Frank Stamps today because Frank's just getting over leg injury. Wishbone for the Irish. Call it second down and 9. Burline rolls it out. Looks to the end zone. Nobody there. He was looking for Andy Heck, and the Michigan defensive people had taken him away because Rivers and Gant were all over him, and Burline, rather than risk it, pulled it down and stepped out of bounds at the 8.
Burline is showing a great deal of leadership right now. After a good play, he's the first one over to congratulate the player who ran the ball or caught the pass. He's showing a great deal of composure as well.
Taylor's back in at fullback now. He's been blocking back today. It's third down and 6 from the 8. Burline loops it to the corner for Tim Brown. Intercepted in the corner by David Arnold. It'll come out for the 20. That is the 4th turnover for Notre Dame.
It is the first interception that Burline has thrown. Now, we talked about the problems he's had in his career in the past. 37 interceptions, now 38 in his career. 4 interceptions that he's thrown touchdown passes here at Notre Dame. That pass should not have been thrown. He was thrown at a good 45 yards across the field. It was supposed to be a timing pattern, just get it out in front of the receiver, but the defensive back had it all the way.
And the coaching goes on the sidelines as Michigan dodges a bullet and takes the ball first down at the 20 with 10 minutes and 50 seconds to play in the game. Jamie Morris and Bob Berryman in the backfield for the Wolverines. Colasar in motion. Harbaugh gives it to Jamie Morris, and Jamie Morris finds some daylight out to about the 28.
Well, that tells a story, doesn't it?
Sure. But turnovers, like injuries, are part of the game.
You look at Notre Dame's game against Michigan up in Ann Arbor last year, and it was a fight for the life up there. Notre Dame played well, but turned the ball over, got in close and couldn't score.
Second down, 2. Perryman, the fullback. He will not get the first down. He had to come to the 30, and he did not get it. Next Saturday, we'll have 2 games. You check your local listing. Clemson being upset today. Georgia won rather handily, so the Tigers will be hopping mad when they go see the Bulldogs. USC's playing Illinois today. Baylor had a close fight against Wyoming last week, just winning by 3 points. That's a pretty good football team down in Waco. And we'll find out about the Trojans later today and certainly next week. Check your local listings. We'll CFA football next Saturday on 3rd down, 1.5 yards for Michigan. Into the middle, and they've got the first down. And this time, Bob Perryman was able to square his shoulders and get his legs under him and drove it out to the 32. Injury, Al Crawford.
Well, Keith, I just checked in with senior Doug Mallory. He's got a big pile of ice on that knee. I checked with the team doctor. They said they're not quite sure. They'll wait till after the game to give it a closer look. But right now, he sits on the sidelines and watches his Michigan team collect on their second turnover. But I believe he's out for the rest of this one. Back to you.
Thank you. From the 32 now. High formation. On first down. Well, actually, in strident tones, he's conversing for a grounding call, but he unloaded that ball rather than wind up on his ear with Cedric Figaro all over him.
I'll tell you what I'd be yelling at that. Watch number 48. Cedric Figaro now will come across the line of scrimmage. Now look at the left hand there of the Michigan guy. He's holding his aim. He's pulling it right back. That's what I'd be yelling about.
Maybe that's what he was yelling about. Anyway, it's 2nd down and 10. Gerald White is now the tailback with Morris out. Start thinking Jokic here. He's available. But they throw it underneath to White, the tailback. And White is at the 36-yard line. That's a pickup from about 4 yards. It'll be 3rd down and long, and Jokic was available.
Harbaugh's just smart. You know that? He'll throw it away if nobody's covered. He won't take the sack. He very rarely turns the ball over, as evidenced by leading the nation in his passing efficiency. Throws very few interceptions, rather. 124 passes without an interception coming into this game, and he has yet to throw one here. Gets a lot of that from his dad, I guess, who's head coach at Western Michigan.
3rd and 6. Troy Wilson, number 12, right there. The ball was late getting there, and Jokic that time was not available and couldn't make the catch because Wilson was all over him, and now Michigan has to punt.
Here's Troy Wilson now. He gets into his back pedal. The ball on the break. Cuts in front of the receivers, reading the ball all the way. Now, last-ditch effort, that left hand just slaps it away. Great defensive play.
Monty Robbins, 3rd punt, 23-31. Last one went for 40. And Wilson, who just made the play, is the man Notre Dame likes to have returning. He does not get the ball to turn over again. This is fielded by Reggie Ward, and Reggie Ward is collected in a very harsh manner. I didn't get the Michigan man's number. 34-yard punt. Perryman ahead.
Watch Perryman come into your screen now. No fair catch signal, so he knows as soon as that ball touches, he's open game. Just tucks that tail and puts that right belt right under his helmet. There is not a better tackle on that team. He just tucks that tail, gets all the leverage behind him, and packs a punch.
This is it. The biggest car buying news in decades. Chevrolet announces the big one. An unprecedented 2.9 annual percentage rate. GMAC's lowest finance rate ever is now available on every new 86 Chevy car and most trucks. Where you can choose direct cash rebates up to $1,000 depending on model selected. 2.9%. News this big and a rate this low won't last. Hurry. This is the big one. There's never been a sale like it.
Here's news for car owners that's a shock. Sears' new heavy-duty gas shock at a special introductory price. Just $9.99 each plus installation. Save $5. You get the smooth, stable ride and higher performance of a gas shock for under $10. And Sears will install them at half off the installation charge. The new Sears heavy-duty gas shock. Another way we install confidence. There's more for your life at Sears.
Tonight, no matter the final score, because certainly this team has played well.
He has instilled a lot of confidence in this Notre Dame football team, and you can see that they have improved fundamentally. The defense is a lot sounder. The offense is well balanced and deceptive.
The pressure right now is on Michigan defense as the Irish start out first down at their own 29, trailing 24-20. Throwing on first down. Down the middle it goes to the tight end, Joel Williams. And the big end gets up across the 40, near the 42 for a first down. And again, poised by Berline.
You have to like the call. Berline throws an interception that stops what could have been a touchdown drive. At least it was threatening. So what does he do? He comes right back with a pass. Puts him right back on the saddle of the horse that threw it. Says, hey, let's get kid's confidence back up. He hung in there to the last second and completed a beautiful pass.
Call it to 41. Pick up 12, first down Irish. Down the middle it goes, same man. It's Andy Heck this time, the tight end. And it's Heck who comes down with it for a short gain of about 3 as Todd Schulte hit him and held him. Caught him right down. And time becomes a factor now as we hit the 7-minute mark to go in the ball game. 24-20 here in South Bend, Michigan. Upsets around the country today, some surprises around the country, another lopsided score. From the 44 now. Ward is in, Brown is out. And Blanker for Notre Dame. Loop out here to Mark Green, 2 blockers in front of him, and Green is on his way.
He wants you to reject Yahuwah, because no matter what, it will cause you to reap the same fate that he is facing. And that is the ultimate goal, because he knows that he's not going to win. He just wants to bring down as much of Yahuwah's creation as he can. He wants to corrupt and taint this world and imprint himself on every living soul if he's able. I've been speaking against the falsehoods in Christianity for so long.
Green is on his way. Knocked out of bounds inside the 30.
It's just a baiting at the same level of
On again, trying to knock him out of bounds. Green running well in traffic.
Just the same.
Once again, Berline sets it up. Play fake inside to Pernell Taylor. And get it out. Here's the screen now. Everybody's pulling. You see big number 72, John Askin out there got a block. 65 gets a block. Gets Tom Freeman. And you know, the guy who he faked it to, Pernell Taylor, got out there and got a block.
He's been a good blocking back all day. They ruled that Green hit the chalk sideline at the 35-yard line. That's where it is, first down. Reverse with Brown carrying. And Brown, around the corner, is thrown down at the 20. That's a pickup of 15 yards and another Notre Dame touchdown, and the Irish are rolling up and down the field.
I'm telling you, Michigan right now doesn't know which way it's coming from. They run the reverse. There's nobody home out here for containment. Everybody had followed the ball. By the time they turn around and pulling guards in front of the ball carrier, this time it's Brown, and Brown picks up another Irish first down.
Tell you what, Notre Dame could turn it over for
already got in the points. They can't do that this time. We've got 5:40 remaining in the ball game. They trail Michigan by 4 points. They need the touchdown badges. They have to execute. They know it.
Michigan defense being bumped around some here in this fourth quarter. Furlan back. Whistles his pass. Pass is caught by Green. Green breaks one tackle, and he's just short of the 10. Andy Bowler is over there to get him.
Michigan's not getting the pressure up front. Furlan's having time to set. That got Michigan within his own defense. Green just hooked up. When he planted third, the ball was there on the button, but he's a little bit winded.
Very little penetration by the Michigan front defense.
It was that time. They didn't get across the neutral zone.
Green and Brown have combined for 231 yards today. Madison run. Winston Banks is in there now in the halfback position. And he's got the ball. Winston Banks, a 210-pound freshman from Hayward, California, into the game for the first time and gets the ball.
And the first down.
It is first and goal. Notre Dame. The ball just short of the Michigan 6.
This whole stadium is rocking now. You can just feel the intensity, the electricity.
Down he goes, short of the line of scrimmage. Number 15. David Arnold, who was an interception in the end zone. The last time Notre Dame was down here, led that defensive charge to take Ward down back to the 8-yard line. It is second down and goal. Furlan throwing for Brown. Tough catch. He was looking over his right shoulder and then trying to flip back to the left side, shielding the defender Arnold away with his body, and the ball dropped right off his arm.
Same call, other side, that they had intercepted just a few minutes ago. It's a timing pattern. He throws it out there into the corner. Wants Brown to run up under it. Brown made the turn. Was a difficult catch. Hit his hands. He knows it hit his hands. They tell you, your receiving coach, anytime it even gets close like that, you have got to have it.
Third down and goal. It'll be interesting to see what they do if they have to look at fourth and goal from the 8. Extra point looming for this extra point. Mark Green is back in. Furlan rolls it left. Throws into the end zone. Touchdown! Oh, he got it wrong. He came down right there on the line. Now, I don't know. Nobody's called touchdown. I called it too soon. They are saying no pass. Incomplete. His foot hit the chalk. It's Joel Williams, number 89. Watch the number.
Oh, was that close? I can't wait to see it. Now, Furlan had all the time in the world. It's a tough throw. Now he's got to turn his body and square his shoulders, but he drills it right in there. Watch his feet.
Official is right there. Couldn't miss the call. He's looking right at the feet. It's got to be a good call. It's got to be a good call because he's looking right at his feet 2 yards from him. Carney's in for a field goal try. And he hits it. And it's a one-point ball game from 25 yards out. John Carney, who had missed the extra point, now hits a 25-yard field goal. And with 4 minutes and 26 seconds to play in the ball game, it's a one-pointer.
May I help you?
Name's Keeper. I reserved a car for today. A Firebird.
It's ready and waiting, Mr. Keeper.
Your ordinary everyday car rental doesn't have to be an ordinary everyday car. Not when National Car Rental rents cars like this Pontiac Firebird for just $32.95 a day weekdays, $24.95 a day weekends.
Hello, Keeper. How was your ride in from the airport? It was
I believe that he's
Plus,
hustling
bring
because
some excitement. Call National at 800 car
the
wreck.
way Yahoo has allowed them to
Today's
progress.
small cars are tougher than ever on oil. Their high compression engines not only rev high, they can run hotter than regular small car engines. Their searing heat can begin to break down an oil immediately. That's why there's Castrol, the only leading motor oil that in every grade provides maximum protection against viscosity and thermal breakdown. So use Castrol before your engine does something to get you.
Remember that man, Yahoo
Heat it up. Castrol, engineered for today's smaller cars.
And these are reasons why
The Denver Broncos. John Elway is their ticket. The Pittsburgh Steelers. Loose lips, sink ships. It's ABC's NFL Monday Night Football. Well, so far, this fourth quarter has belonged to Notre Dame. Just by a matter of who knows what the margin was. But enough chalk kicked up off Joel Williams' catch on the back line of the end zone. It was ruled no catch, out of bounds. They kicked the field goal, and now it's a one-pointer. Obviously, they feel they can hold Michigan and get the ball back. It is now pressure time on the Michigan offense. 4:26 to play in the game. 24-23, Michigan. Carney to kick off. Short of the 20. Good coverage downfield. Back to about the 17 where Tom Burns brings it down. And here's the play, which a touchdown was just missed.
Perfect execution until the receiver hits the ground. It is still so close. Yet the receiver is right. I mean, the referee, the official, the next judge is right there. Watch this. See, the defender comes right in front of the picture, so you can't tell.
Oh, that's close. Got to be a good call. The man's looking right at his feet. Just outside the 17. First down. White and Morris out of the eye. Morris on a sweep. Out to the 20. He's got the football. Was he down? Three officials are talking. He was down. Everything was marginal right here, isn't it? So close. Down. No question. Down. Excellent ball.
He had the ball when he hit the ground. That's exactly right. It's Michigan's ball should be.
Second down. Donnie. White and Perryman out of the eye now. They may have to throw the ball here. You got to think Jokic when you think pass at this point. Give it White. That's 2 yards close before Robert Banks cuts him down. Now they almost surely will have to put it up.
First down, Michigan, Notre Dame territory with 2:36 left.
Oh, what a big play that was, huh? Simple play, but big. 24-23 ball game. Michigan by 1. White and Perryman, the backs. That's
tie.
Kicker's like a golfer. He's got to have a good rhythm. He's got to make good contact, and he can't think a whole lot about it once he's over top of it.
Loneliest position on the team, too. Except for Washington. Can't do it now. Second down, call it 6. White looking around for a place to find it. Can't find it, I think, as number 94, Meister, jumps on it. And again, the ball is rolling around on the ground. Ball carrier, of course, down. Now, Notre Dame is going to spend the timeout. They'll have 2 remaining. That stops the clock at 1 minute and 43 seconds to play in the ball game. And you can see dead.
Power your business software into a new dimension with the 10 3000 computer. Important data is only milliseconds away from an advanced 286 microprocessor that delivers high-speed performance and PC compatibility. You can add up to 12 million bytes of memory and expand by sharing that power with others in your office. Discover the Tandy 3000 family of value-priced business computers at Radio Shack Computer Centers.
He needs his people to be cleansed.
Mr. Goodwrench has the right tools available. Tools of the science, automotive service, advanced, sensitive, accurate, strong and simple, or complex, like electronic eyes that probe the mysteries of your car. These are the tools that understand and fix. The tools of Mr. Goodwrench, and no one knows your GM car better. No one.
Have a look at the last play, and I think again you'll see the ball is not loose until the man is on the ground. Right there, it comes out.
Well, see his hand hit the ground first. As soon as that hand touches him down, or his knee or his foot or something.
It is third down now for Michigan. The football is at the Notre Dame 36-yard line with 1 minute and 43 seconds to play in the ball game. You see the timeout story right there. Right here, Michigan needs more than anything else to pick up a first down. The last 3 Notre Dame possessions, they went to the Michigan 15 and fumbled. They went to the Michigan 8, had an interception, went to the Michigan 8 again, and got a field goal. Now Davey Morris is back in there. Select back position, 0 point. Shoots it down the middle. That's got to be interference. Got to be. Jokic is tackled before the ball got there by Steve Lawrence. That will give him a first down.
Well, some of the defenders are arguing the point, but it's a moot point because it's a good call. Now you'll see, Harbaugh releases this ball. Here comes Jokic across the middle. Now it is good coverage out there. There's no question about that. But Steve Lawrence does climb on his back too early. He can't make contact.
The ball is put at the 29-yard line.
He cannot make contact until that ball is there. He just got a little bit anxious doing it from good position. Trying to put that left hand out in front when he did. The right side of his body hit Jokic in the back.
First down. Michigan. Minute 39 to play. Work out of the wishbone and go to the young man. Perryman, the fullback. Again, Notre Dame is shouting to the ball.
That was difficult.
Unwrapping him. So Michigan makes its first mistake of the afternoon. First turnover for the Wolverines. That was a fumble, and the Irish outfought them for it. And they have it first down at their own 26-yard line. Now, Tradition, legend, ghost to the past, all those things, they're not playing. But Notre Dame has owned this fourth quarter against Michigan, and Berline back to throw on first down. Down the middle goes for Miller. Miller is down to the Michigan 40. First down, Irish.
Liverpool gambler came out, no hesitation, and threw over the linebacker. Alvin Miller is 6'4", threw it high and had to be high enough to get over the linebacker and under the safety, and it was a perfectly thrown ball.
It looked like Dina Herron might have gotten a piece of it. They put it at the 41 of Michigan with a minute and 15 to play in the ball game. And Berline back on first down, whips it out to Mark Green. He put his knee on the ground, back at the 46, and that's where the ball will be put. Lost of 5 yards. And timeout called by the Irish to stop the clock with 1:06 to play in the ball game. They have one left.
Right now, you can get a bundle of bucks from Certainty. For every bundle of Certainty fiberglass building insulation you buy, you get a buck back, up to $30. Imagine making money for insulating your home against winter and helping you save money on your fuel bills. That's the Certainty Buck a Bundle rebate, with a buck back for every bundle of insulation you buy. So bring on the Certainty Buck a Bundle rebate.
Fact. Without money, many of the best things in life are unattainable. Fact. You insure to protect. You invest to grow. When you're not sure where to invest, knowing about Kemper helps. Ask a securities broker about the investment products of Kemper Financial Services. Mutual funds, money market funds, unit trusts, life insurance and annuities, real estate. Kemper Financial Services, a concern for your future.
It is second down and 15, Notre Dame. The ball at the Michigan 46-yard line. The Wolverines leading by a point. Irish with one timeout remaining and 1 minute and 6 seconds to play in the ball game. Come wide to the bottom of the picture, and Berline's back to throw, and still very little defensive pressure. Down the middle, caught by Jackson at the 29-yard line, and he's down there. First down for Notre Dame. Clock shows a minute. Stopping what they move to the change. They have one timeout remaining. They're getting close enough now for John Carney to be put into a posture of redemption.
If they kick right now, he could be a 40-yarder. He's 15 of 16 from 40 yards or more.
Tight end move forward, straight ahead. Concentration broke a little bit on Joel Williams. Tight end can move, can flex, but you can't go straight ahead.
See now, as long as we're thinking about Carney, that takes him into a danger zone. That said he's 15 to 16 between the 40 and 49, 52 yards. Yeah, once you get past the 50 now, he's only 5 of 11, and as long as it's 51 yards, that was in the Aloha Bowl in 84.
All-Stars, Notre Dame, still first down.
First and 15 as the ball comes back to the 35. 46 seconds to play in the game. Berline, quick pop, sideline, Jackson. The pass was low, off, and Bill looking to see where he could go with it. Really didn't look it all the way home, and it sort of rolled off his fingertips on the grass.
What Berline knew, as soon as he released the pass, he grabbed his helmet and said, "Oh, no, he was wide open. I just threw it into the dirt." You know, it's worked well for him today. It's free.
Yep, certainly has. Brown is out right now. Tim Brown is out. And Reggie Ward is in. They got Jackson and Ward now. Bottom of the fifth. Berline back. Second down and 15. Shovel up the middle to Brown Taylor. And Taylor is inside the 30, down at the 28. 30 seconds to play in the ball game. Notre Dame trying to go without the huddle. Berline's pass thrown to the sideline. Incomplete. Off the hands of Ward. Tough pass to catch. And the clock is stopped at 17 seconds. Now you've got one timeout to work with. We got two of them down. Do they take the timeout here to talk about it? Obviously, what they've got to do is get themselves fully and totally organized for John Carney. Ball, the tee is placed down at the 35. It'll be a 45-yard field goal try to win. It's up. Ball is hooked off to the left side. So a good day for John Carney. 13 seconds to play in the ball game. And Notre Dame took it down to the last 13 seconds. This is a 45-yard field goal try, and almost doing everything he can at the moment to restore John Carney. He really looked at himself.
It was impressive, though. The way that Holtz went out and had him put his arm around him and said something to him. I mean, this is the first game of a long season.
Now Michigan can snap it and win it. Notre Dame spending its last timeout right there, stopping the clock with 10 seconds to play in the ball game. You got one more snap. So let's spend this timeout looking at the respective campuses.
The University of Michigan is a very proud member of a very small set of institutions called research universities, combining distinguished scholarship, education, advanced research training, and professional training in a way that is distinctly American.
This is the establishment of the Levitical priesthood. This is a major reason why they were priests. So for one who says that they are very big on keeping the Torah and keeping Yahweh's covenant,
The University of Michigan, a heritage of leadership.
The University of Notre Dame grew from a vision of Father Edward Sorin, who wanted to build an American Catholic university, the equal of the great.
10 seconds to play in the ball game. Jim Harbaugh takes the snap, goes down with it, and that will do it. The Michigan Wolverines have defeated Notre Dame Fighting Irish as they were that today by a score of 24-23. The Chevy players of the ball game, the MVPs for Michigan. Harbaugh, 15 out of 23, 239 yards and a touchdown. For Notre Dame, Berline, 21 out of 33, 263 yards and a touchdown. Here's Al Broadway.
Keith, I'm with Lou Holtz. Lou, I think you have a lot to be proud of your team today. A lot of people weren't sure what they had, but I think you have to say at the end of this game they have a lot.
I'm proud of Notre Dame. I'm proud of it. It's one of those mistakes. I feel bad for the players. I've been involved, but it was a great game. We made some mistakes, but golly, it was a great game.
Lou, there was one thing. Berline was brilliant, but your kicker also. At the end of the game, you grabbed him, you said something. What did you say?
Well, you know, hey, we all make mistakes. It's nobody's responsibility. Hey, we're a team. That's all. I love the kid. He makes some great kicks. He'll make some other ones. That's what Notre Dame's about, their football experience and an educational experience. You can't ask any more out of our players.
Were you surprised at all yourself at what your team was able to do today?
I never know what we're going to be able to do. I think we're a great group of guys. They said they'd work hard and play hard. I'm just proud of them. I hope that we can win some of these.
Well, it was an exciting game, Luke. Thank you for stopping. He's got to go. Keith, back to you.
All right, Al. It was quite an afternoon in South Bend, Indiana. This ABC Sports exclusive has been brought to you by Radio Shack, the computer experts. By the Equitable, your key to financial opportunities. By National Car Rental, if you're renting for business or pleasure, you deserve national attention. And by Certain Need, manufacturer of America's finest quality of home insulation. Final score, Michigan 24, Notre Dame 23. Stay tuned now for updated highlights and scores of today's football action on college football scoreboard. Travel arrangements made through and promotional fee paid by United Airlines. United flies more people to Hawaii than any other airline. Nobody knows Hawaii like United. This is a presentation of ABC Sports.
So I bought her for myself for 15 shekels of silver and one half homers of barley. I said to her, "You shall stay with me many days. You shall not play the harlot, nor shall you have a man. So too will I be toward you. For the children of Israel shall abide many days without king or prince, without sacrifice or sacred pillar, without ephod or teraphim. Afterward, the children of Israel shall return and seek Yahweh and Elohim and David their king. They shall fear Yahweh and his goodness in the latter days." Hosea chapter 3, verses 1 to 5. First off, let's get this straight. The book of Hosea is deep. Yahweh told Hosea to find a harlot and make her straight his intentions of redeeming Israel. Yahweh was symbolizing how he was going to redeem his adulterous children who played the harlot with many gods. So this is what he's illustrating. But when they use Hosea chapter 3, verse 4, they don't use any of this context. They use this for why they don't atone anymore. And it's absolutely nuts. They use verse 4. It says, "For the children of Israel shall abide many days without king or prince, without sacrifice or sacred pillar, without ephod or teraphim." That's verse 4. And it really is a horrible attempt. But if you aren't well studied on these things, I mean, they can just put sure people still use it because they just heard somebody else say it and they believe it. Understanding the context of this verse is crucial. The context of this is not Israel in righteousness, trying to be servants of Yahweh. Absolutely not. The whole context of this is Israel being a whore. You should start from Hosea chapter 1, where it says, when Yahweh began to speak to Hosea,